20 races at 18 different tracks make up the 2015 schedule for the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards. Tonight, the Kentucky Speedway was scheduled to play host to the 22nd ARCA event with the running of the Crosley Brands 150. Well, the problem is Mother Nature has not cooperated with us this evening here, and a fairly steady rain is falling here at the Kentucky Speedway. You see the rain coming down on the infield, humidity way up there above 60%. Beautiful day today. There was lots of on-track activity, but right now we are in a weather holding pattern here in Sparta, Kentucky. Hi, everybody. I'm Ray Dunlap, along with two-time Camping World Truck Series champion Todd Bodine. And Todd, there's nothing worse than having a day at the racetrack where you get practice in, you get to qualify, the cars go to the grid, and then, boom, here comes the rain.
I had a great day. Weather was gorgeous. We had some sun this morning, then the clouds started rolling in, and we all watching that radar. We knew it was coming, unfortunately. And now they're all sitting in the trailers watching us on TV, wishing they could get on a track. They were here on Tuesday. They had a great day of testing on Tuesday. Great day today. They've been testing, qualifying, practice. That's race.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll tell you, this storm started on the East Coast. It has come all the way up through the Carolinas and now just got on the edge of Kentucky and Ohio, and we're expecting this rain to clear out of here soon, but we're in a bit of a holding pattern right now. But I want to talk to you about 2015 and what an amazing season it has been. We've got 18 races complete, and there's been a lot of great stories.
It is, you know, and I think for me, one of the highlights of this year is the fact that we have had 10 different first-time winners in the ARCA Series. That's incredible.
There were 7 in a row.
Oh, it's 7 in a row. That's an incredible fact. But within that story, I think 2 of the best ones we've got is 15 years old. Todd Gilliland turns 15 years old. 2 days later, in his first ARCA race, he wins at Toledo, Ohio. Incredible. 15 years old, winning a race. And first time in one of these types of cars, and for him to go from the late models and things that he'd been racing in Legends cars, totally different kind of vehicle, to getting in an ARCA car at Toledo, which is a tough little short track, to go out and get your first win. Incredible.
And get this, Gilliland wins when he's 15 years and 2 days old. Ken Schrader becomes the oldest winner at 69 years and 11 months. So 59 and 11 months, I should say. Here's a look at the point standings in the ARCA Racing Series. Grant Enfinger, what an unbelievable year it's been for him. 6 victories this year. That's got him 225 points ahead of Josh Williams. Tom Hessert has had a very good season. He hangs right there in 3rd. And Austin Wayne Self has got his first career win this season. He is 4th in the points. Well, our point leader is standing by down in the garage. Let's check in with Rob Klepper.
Thanks a lot, guys. You know, you talk about Grant Enfinger in the season that he has led the points this entire year, won the first 3 races of the year, have won 3 of the last 4. Been a banner season for you, but we still have a few races to close this thing out. Mother Nature steps in here this evening in Kentucky. What's it like sitting back here in the rain, and what kind of track are we going to see if it's green out there tonight once we get to racing?
You know, it is a little frustrating with the weather because we've been here all week and it's been so beautiful out here in Kentucky, and we're just right here on the edge of this storm, so it just definitely causing some anguish for a lot of drivers and crew chiefs out there. But I'm anxious to get it started. So everybody at GMS Racing, Allegiant Travel, Worth USA has really put a lot into this season. We got 2 more to go, so we're ready to polish it off.
You guys were really good at the test on Tuesday. What did we learn there that we applied to this weekend, and will that carry out here with the rain that we're having?
You know, I don't know, it's kind of a little bit strange for us. We were 3rd quick at the test. We made the car drive better, but we lost a little speed today. I do feel like it's going to be good in race trim. We were just off a little bit there in qualifying. So I'm looking forward to it with now the rain washing off all the Goodyear rubber. It's going to be more like how we unloaded on Tuesday. So it's not going to be anything too terribly different.
2 races to go, as I mentioned, on the heels of your first ARCA championship. What's it going to mean to you to pick up that championship to close out the season?
Oh, it's huge. You know, it's huge for me personally. It's a dream me and my dad have had for a long, long time. But it's huge for GMS Racing. So it's an organization that's fairly new to the sport, all things considered. But Mari Gallagher, Spencer Gallagher, Ron Booth, Mike Beam all put a lot of confidence in us. And I'm anxious to get it done and hopefully put a good taste in everybody's mouth. I do have to mention Ron Booth had a little health problems this past week. He's normally with us. He was going to be with us this week, and we're missing him.
That's Grant Enfinger, our current point leader. Tonight, once we get going, he'll start outside row 6 in the 12th position. Now let's go to pit lane and Jim Trado.
And I'm standing around by the car that was the fastest qualifying car. It's under this wrap behind us, the driver, William Byron. If you heard William's name before, it's because he's leading the K&N Pro Series East standings. But the opportunity to come here to test at Tuesday with everybody else and then race here at a mile-and-a-half racetrack, the biggest track you've gotten a chance to run on, William.
Hello.
How does this prove the fact that you're getting pretty quick around these mile-and-a-half tracks their first time here?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun going this fast. This is the first time I've been 180 miles per hour in a race car. So, I was telling my friends when I went back to school on Wednesday and Thursday how fun it was, because it's a new experience for me, and I'm just really blessed to be part of the Venturini Motorsports team this weekend and have Liberty University on board a huge part of this. So, looking forward to the race if we get it in tonight.
And the comfort you have, Venturini Motorsports, you were in this car once before, finishing second at Lucas Oil Raceway. 15-year-old Todd Gilliland gets in this thing at Toledo and wins it. Now you have a chance at age 17 to set yet another mark, a 17-year-old winner, perhaps another new winner here this season. What's your confidence going into the race when it happens with this fast car that won the pole?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good cars in this series, and especially this race tonight. We Ross Kenseth, Daniel Suarez, Brandon Jones, bunch of guys in this race. So we're going to see what happens, but there's a lot that can happen, and I think live pit stops will be a huge part of the outcome. So looking forward to seeing what happens.
I talked to you before you went into second at Lucas Oil Raceway. That was your first time you ever did live pit stops. How different is that, especially at a track like this with all the speed?
Yeah, it's totally different. Coming from the K&N series and also late model races, you don't have live pit stops rarely. So it's a totally different experience for me, but I feel like I'm still learning on the fly, and the guys at Venturini Motorsports are helping me a ton with that.
It's William Byron again, scheduled to start on the Menards pole, presented by Ansel, with a very fast speed, half a second faster than the field in qualifying. William Byron guys will have something to say when we go green flag racing.
Well, thank you, Jim. A great field of drivers here as we were expecting to go and get underway tonight with the 18th event in the in the ARCA Racing Series. But a couple of fans still sitting out there saying, we're going to wait around till we get this thing going. Rain has fallen here at the Kentucky Speedway. We'll hear from more of the drivers in the ARCA Racing Series after these messages. Back at the Kentucky Speedway, the ARCA Racing Series was getting ready to roll off for the Crosley Brands 150. And just as we were ready to come on air with the broadcast, the rain started coming in. It actually shortened up the very last few minutes of Xfinity practice. So right now it's a bit damp here in Sparta, Kentucky. So the drivers are in the garage area, but Crosley Brands is a great sponsor here in the ARCA Racing Series. Bo Lamastus, the driver of the number 42 car, has been behind the wheel and learning a lot. He's the president and CEO of this company, which makes some really, really cool products. And we thought we'd give you a little insight to just exactly what all is behind the Crosley Brands.
Crosley goes way back to the early 1920s. A gentleman named Powell Crosley started the company. He got into the world of radios almost by accident. He went downtown to buy his son one for his birthday. Man, you know what? I can build one. He kind of became known as the Henry Ford of radio. From radio, he started the radio station called WLW. He said, I'm gonna buy the Reds. He was the first guy to ever broadcast a baseball game on the radio. He was always infatuated with making an automobile, so he opened up Crosley Motors, and at that point he actually sold Crosley Radio. I came here in 1981, and way back then we started doing these replica Olden radios. Kind of worked out a license arrangement. Today we own, the brand. Somebody said, hey, let's start doing telephones. So we did an old payphone. Following the telephones, we got into turntables and record players.
Bo definitely has vision. Good example is the resurgence of vinyl. About 10 years ago, he recognized that, and today, now we're the leading supplier of turntables in the world. As far as the future of Crosley, we want to diversify some, so we introduced furniture, continuing to grow in our furniture division. Well, I've known Bo for over 25 years. He's always been into racing, and he was really excited about getting into ARCA racing.
The number 42 of Bo Lamastus from Louisville, Kentucky.
Had that 9th place run at Talladega. That was his best career finish.
Talladega was really good. We had a great run. I was just happy to get out of there. Early this year, Jeff Bodine started talking about Martinsville, about the clocks. I want to hook up with the folks at Kentucky. Let's talk to them about the jukebox becoming the next clock. This is our first year in doing it up at Kentucky, and it's been really, really well received. The guys seem to love it. Watching Kyle Busch the other night get out of his car, and the first thing he said is, "Where's my jukebox?" Racing has been a fantastic way for us to be seen all across the country. What's next? All I can assure you is it's going to continue.
Yeah, and when we look at some of the fun facts from the Crosley Brands, how about, I love the one down here, the first mini car. And I saw one of those out in the grandstand area today. That is really neat. And of course, WLW, the greatest radio station on AM all the way across the country. So Bo LeMastus doing a great job and learning a lot about driving race cars. Let's go back down in the pit area and hear from him.
He'll start 19th here tonight if we get this race underway. CEO of Crosley, Bo LeMastus, how neat is it for you to have the company that you work for not only sponsor the events here at Kentucky Speedway, but sponsor the series that you run in all year long?
Well, I mean, for us, it's great to be here at Kentucky. To be the title sponsor tonight was a total win-win. To be halfway between Cincinnati, which is where Crosley started, and Louisville, Kentucky, we knew it was a match made in heaven.
And when Mother Nature opened up the clouds and the rain came down, we're all just kind of a holding pattern right now. I know you're going to start 19th tonight, as I mentioned, but how's the car and how do you think it'll be if we get this thing underway?
I think we're good. We always want a little more. For qualifying, we were maybe a tick off, but we've got a great car, and yeah, I think our car is going to keep getting better and better, and it's certainly the type of car for 100 laps. I think we'll be in great shape.
And we saw that jukebox in Victory Lane, some of the NASCAR events. How cool would it be for you to win that thing here tonight?
You know, that would be the only deal. I don't like returns. Nobody likes returns, but that's one I would take back.
Well, we certainly wish you all the best here tonight, and hopefully we'll get this thing in, man.
Real good. Thank you.
That's Bo LeMastus. Let's go down once again to Jim Trado.
Rob, I'm in the hauler of the second place in points, Josh Williams. Starting at Daytona this year, he said, I want to put a name on my race car, Team Anya Kale, as she fights through leukemia. Well, guess what? Anya is here today with Josh, and Josh surprised her with her very own fire suit. She was hoping to walk across that stage. She still might, as Josh will go through driver introduction. And Josh, this is a great story coming home in more than one way. You got a chance not only to have Anya here, but you've carried her all season long.
Yeah, exactly. She's we call her our tiniest crew member, but she's with us every week, no matter what. If she's here with us in person or back at home, she's always in our hearts, and we love having her at the racetrack.
And you've got a lot of experience because you want to go to children's hospitals. You've done that all season long. There are 50 handprints on your race card. Anya's is on there as well. Tell us the inspiration behind that and the kids you got to visit this season that really brings it home, that kids like Anya that get support and acknowledgement from what you do.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we've been to a couple children's hospitals this year, and we plan on going to a few more before the season ends, and as well in the off season. But it's a great feeling to to go visit the kids and Anya's friends and things like that, and just make them feel special and give them something to think about and have a lot of fun with. Like the handprints on the car and things like that.
This race car itself, though, has finished as high as second at Kansas, another mile-and-a-half racetrack last year. Your dad was just telling me you got a really fast car on Tuesday's test of the longer runs. Let's talk competition-wise for a moment and the big victory that could be with a very fast race car. What are your thoughts and confidence heading into the race here at Kentucky?
Yeah, we really focused on long runs a lot in practice. We stayed on one set of tires at the test the whole time. So we really focused on that a lot. I feel like we got a really fast race car, a lot of speed. I don't know, I think this is our hardest qualifying effort at a mile and a half so far. So I think we got a really good shot at it.
Musselman's applesauce and an entire group of people are behind this small team making good second in points. Josh and his little hero here, Anya Kale, celebrating for a moment time together. They hope to do that in Victory Lane as well. Rob, let's check in with you.
Thank you, Jim. Ross Kenseth back in the number 52 for Ken Schrader Racing, second race of the year. And so far, you're batting 1,000. Got a win earlier in the year. We can be able to put it back in Victory Lane and get that jukebox here tonight?
I sure hope so. We've been working on this thing all week earlier, the test on Tuesday, and made some big swings for qualifying, and I felt like we got the balance a lot closer to where it needs to be for the race. So, real proud of these guys and effort they put in. We've worked on a lot of things over the last couple days, and I feel like we finally got a good step in the right direction for tonight.
How important was it for you as a driver in only 2 starts this year to get that test on Tuesday that they had here and try and get reacclimated with this ARCA series?
Honestly, for all the tests, we needed all of it. We tried a lot of stuff, made a lot of changes, and made a lot of progress from then and then before qualifying today. So it was a big help for us to get that much track time. Looking forward to the race.
Got that big win at Michigan, of course. A cool jukebox if you could pull off the win here. How neat would that be in your trophy case?
I think any trophy is pretty neat, especially when they don't come that often. So I'm looking forward to it. It's always fun racing with these guys. Huge thanks to Federated Auto Parts and Bowling Machine for giving me this opportunity. It's always a lot of fun to come out here and race.
Guys, he'll be one to watch here tonight. He'll be in the same exact car that he took to victory lane early this year.
Well, guys, Ross Kenseth is scheduled to run a late model race in Pensacola, Florida tomorrow, so he's certainly hoping that the rain will go away. We're going to have a decision about what the rest of the schedule will be tonight here. We'll get you that when we come back. We're at the Kentucky Speedway hoping to go racing with the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards. How happy are we all that college football is back after our race? Tonight, we're going to get you out to the West Coast. How about Stanford and Oregon State? Stanford on a roll after that big upset at USC. And then tomorrow, we'll have Maryland with West Virginia. That's on FS1. Then you can flip over to Fox for a doubleheader. It's a big showdown in Texas between TCU and Texas Tech. And then a great matchup between number 18 Utah and Oregon rolling in there. It's all on college football on FS1 and Fox. Well, we look out here over across the Kentucky Speedway and still a bit of rain coming down. We're hoping to get some kind of an update here from NASCAR and ARCA. They are up here in the control booth and we are looking over that way, and it appears they have made the decision to pull the Air Titans off of the racetrack, and we will not be racing the ARCA cars tonight here at Kentucky Speedway. There's just too much moisture in the air, and we do not have a complete schedule yet on when this race will air, so we will get you that information out as soon as we possibly can. But tonight's event, the Crosley Brands 150, will not run on Friday night here at Kentucky Speedway. Back to the garage and Jim Trado.
And Ray, the fans have a local interest in more than one way. Louisville, just down the road, also the race shop of Will Kimmel in southern Indiana. And Will, you qualified fifth here in this beautiful number 69 family-run team. We're talking about an opportunity to bag your first victory not so far from home. But I want to get back to your car was fast Tuesday, but you weren't happy with that. What'd you guys work on to get more speed in this race car?
Well, me and Derek just missed something on the plate. I had some stuff that wasn't lined up right and wasn't squared up the way it should have been, and rear end was running crooked in the race car. So went back through it, rebumped it, and just got after it. You know, we got out of the shop last night about 9:30, which is good when you're this close. So it paid off today. You know, we got Portland Recycling stuff on the hood, SO contracting on the quarters, and looking forward to it. We got to fast forward, so I hope we can keep up towards the front. 55 cars gonna be pretty tough.
A lot of local support, but also a lot of support came here to watch you in August make your NASCAR Sprint Cup Series debut here at Kentucky. You have a lot of track time here compared to some of the other guys in the field. How is that going to play well for you in the ARCA race?
I think it helps. You know, I'm pretty comfortable moving around the racetrack and all that kind of stuff, but I don't think our race is going to lend itself to be quite long enough to see the top groove and all that kind of stuff come in. There's a good 2 or 3 grooves that are here now, but as far as getting up towards the walls, as far as up the racetrack, as far as the Cup guys go, I don't think you'll see that. But it's just it's all different now. Rain's washed all the rubber away, and we'll have fresh racetrack in the morning.
Finished third at Chicagoland, the only other mile and a half here. Have you thought about the victory celebration if it happens to come here at Kentucky?
It's a pretty tall order for Kimmel Racing right now. It's definitely you know, not out of our minds, that's for sure, but there's a lot of tough competition. We're all really tight there. I think it's from, you know, Braden and to me and all that. I mean, it's only a couple tenths, and that's really close when you're talking about a mile and a half track here. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. These cars are real aero sensitive, and the draft and stuff is going to make a difference. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully we get lined up, stay up in the top 5, and see what happens after the last pit stop tomorrow.
And Will Kimmel will start 5th in this race here at Kentucky Speedway, 1 hour from his race shop. Let's now check in with Rob Klepper.
And thank you, Jim, for Brandon Jones. He was second fastest in the practice on Tuesday. You led practice earlier today, but it was qualifying where it got a little dramatic for you. What happened there as you were working through turns 3 and 4?
Yeah, you know, it's kind of been weird here, honestly. Every once in a while, it'll just catch this like weird kind of gust of wind type deal, and just kind of get really loose, and you can't even catch it, really. Did a great job, I feel like, keeping it off the wall and keeping us, you know, a good race car for tonight's race. So I think that'll be good. We've got a great piece to go to battle, so that'll be fun.
100 laps here, anything can happen coming from the tail. I know with the Venturing Motorsports team, you guys are very busy to get that thing ready to rock, but talk about all the racing that you've done this year, and of course you've had a big announcement here today about 2016.
Sure, man. Everyone, I'm sure, is starting to hear about it a little bit here, but full-time ride with the RCR next year, and that's going to be awesome. That's always any racer's dream come true, to be able to run with an organization like RCR, and all the history that's there is going to be really cool to be a part of full-time next year. So really looking forward to that, but also got to focus on getting the 2015 over with here, and I think we've got a lot more truck races and things to come. So we've been a little bit everything this year, and I think it's starting to pay off right here.
Well, it's going to be fun, guys, to watch him from the tail. The multi-time ARCA champ, Frank Kimmel, will be his spotter, as Brandon Jones will start deep once we get underway.
Well, thank you, Rob. What a season it's been for Brandon Jones. He has 34 races scheduled with 4 different teams, and he's one of the drivers who has won in the ARCA Racing Series in his first 2 career starts. We'll wrap it all up for you here from Kentucky Speedway. One more segment. Stay with us. We'll be back right after these messages. Well, Mother Nature has not cooperated with the ARCA Racing Series here at Kentucky Speedway. The rain has become just too much in order for them to get rid of tonight, so they have decided we will run tomorrow, and it will be live at 1 p.m. on FS2. Well, here's the deal. Whenever Mother Nature intervenes, you've got to make different plans. So guess what? My buddy here, who was going to call the race with me, has to go to Charlotte, and he's going to be on the setup show for the Camping World Truck Series, so we'll make a different plan. But before you go, I got to get your input on what we're going to see here tomorrow. Instead of a night race, it's a day race, but it's still an incredibly good field of cars.
It's a great field of cars. And, these guys got the practice in the day. They did their testing in the day. So I think their setups are going to be much more suited for day racing. And this racetrack does change at night. Gaines grip, the tires are more suited for it. So it's going to be a different race, but I think you're going to see a great race. I think we got 15 guys that can win this race.
When we were here last year, it looked like Daniel Suarez had this one in the bag. It slipped away from him a little bit, but guess what? He's a much more experienced driver now, and he and William Byron on that front row, that's a pretty big powerhouse for Venerini Motorsports.
Billy's got this going on. He's got really good race cars, good race teams, and he always has good drivers. And you're right, Daniel, all the racing he's done this year in those other divisions, he's figured out how to get to the front. Now he can try to get it done here in the ARCA Series.
We heard from Will Kimmel what a big deal that would be if he could get his first career win right here. And as Todd said a little while ago, 10 different drivers have gotten their first career win this season, 7 of those in a row, and that was about the most fun thing I've seen in a long, long time.
It is. When you can get that many different winners in a row, and especially as young as they were,
right,
it speaks volumes for the series and what it means for a young kid to come in here, cut his teeth, get some good experience, and get to victory lane.
So the rain is continuing here. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon. We'll be live on FS2. Garbage Time with Katie Nolan is coming up. And don't forget, we've got college football coming your way right here on FS1. That's at 10 o'clock Eastern. For Jim Trado and Rob Klepper and Todd Bodine, I'm Ray Dunlap. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry we couldn't go racing. Hope you'll join us tomorrow afternoon. For the 9th consecutive season, the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards will crown a different champion. There are 2 races remaining to determine if point leader Grant Enfinger can claim that big trophy. Friday night at 8 p.m., we were scheduled to go green with the Crosley Brands 150. Yesterday was a beautiful day. Temperature in the low 80s, no wind. We got practice in. They did qualifying. The cars went to the grid, and then Mother Nature wasn't very friendly. She intervened with a big rainstorm, and that caused the Kentucky Speedway officials to postpone the race for today at 1 o'clock. Today there'll be very different conditions. We have temperatures in the middle 60s. It's very overcast and breezy. The good thing is very little chance of rain, but we've got a completely green racetrack today here at the Kentucky Speedway. Here's the last 4 events that have happened in the ARCA Racing Series. Grant Enfinger was the man on the short tracks this year. He picked up a win once again at the Berlin Speedway. Then congratulations goes to A.J. Fike, the winner on the mile dirt at Springfield. We moved to Labor Day and went to Du Quoin, and here was a last lap pass as the number 23 Grant Enfinger goes back to victory lane. He had a great run past Kyle Weatherman on his way to the checkered flag. And what better than to do is win 3 out of the last 4 races. Enfinger capped it off with a big win on the short track at Salem Speedway. Once again, that Allegiant Travel Chevrolet went to victory lane, and that has put him in a very good position here in the ARCA Racing Series. 4,415 total points accumulated. That's 6 wins this year for Enfinger. Josh Williams still believes he's in the hunt, and Tom Hessert is in 3rd position. Hi, everybody. I'm Ray Dunlap. Welcome to Kentucky Speedway. Who better to have with me in the booth today than a guy who went to victory lane right here a year ago? Brendan Gaughan is with me. Congratulations on that. I know you know this track really well. Here's my big concern. Incredibly different conditions yesterday compared to today. How will the crew chiefs and drivers face that?
You know, thanks for having me here, Mr. Dunlap. Good to be with you. And this is a totally different place. It's first in the driver's mind, it's different psyche. You were ready to race last night. Some of these young kids have never had to go through a rain-out race. Guys like Bobby Gerhardt, they went to bed, they grabbed dinner, grabbed breakfast, they show up. You know, a guy like William Byron, he's not used to that, having to re-rack this deal in the next day. So that's one thing from the driver's side. To the crew chiefs, normally ARCA races are one stop.
Sure.
And they'll you know, the Hoosier tire runs pretty good. They get 1 set. They have 2 sets in the pits. They leave 1. Today, with Kentucky, the way this asphalt chews up Hoosier rubber, I'm betting you with this green track, you're going to see people that want to stop twice for tires.
I would imagine that is true. And William Byron told us yesterday he's never made a green flag stop, so that'll be interesting for sure. We had a Menards pole qualifying yesterday afternoon, and that young man in just his 2nd start was able to pull it off. In that Liberty University Toyota for Venerini Motorsports, he posts the fast time on the Speedway here, and he will roll off on the front row beside his teammate Daniel Suarez. And right now, he's in the pits with our own Jim Trado.
William Byron has a fast Liberty University Toyota, but more importantly, that fast lap taught you one thing. You had a tire rub. You slept on it. Last time we talked to you about winning the pole. Now you're saying, wait a minute, we may not want to start there. Why?
We just had a little bit of a tire rub that the Venerini Motorsports guys wanted to take care of, so we'll start from the back, but I feel really confident about our chances today. We have 100 laps to get back to the front, so looking forward to it in the Liberty University Toyota, so we'll see what happens.
This is your first 1.5 mile racetrack. What are you expecting here after practice on Tuesday for a full day, and what you got in yesterday?
This is honestly more like what we practice in, so these conditions, cloudy, overcast a little bit, so we'll see what we have in the race, but I feel like it's going to be pretty similar to what we tested in. There's a lot of good cars in this race, and I'm just looking forward to being a part of it.
We wish you well. William Byron leading the E-Series standings. First started a 1.5 miles. We'll do it from the back after winning the pole award because the right front fender was rubbing on the tire in that qualifying run.
Well, thank you, Jim. Very interesting development there. And I'll tell you what, Brendan, when we look back through this field of cars, in my opinion, the very best lineup we've ever seen on a 1.5 miles for the ARCA Series.
A lot of good-looking stuff up front. This is going to be a fun race to watch.
We'll set the grid when we come back here to the Kentucky Speedway. You're watching the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards on FS2. Look at our Scott Rookie Challenge this season. It has been an incredible battle. We have David Levine up front in our point standings right now. Sarah Cornett-Ching has had a great season also. But Kyle Weatherman right there, just 12 points back, and he still has 2 races this season to accumulate points, try to get by David Levine. For more on that, let's go trackside and check back in with Jim Trado.
Anyway, one advantage for David Levine here as he sits the number 59 machine 18th on the grid. He's got 3 starts in the ARCA Racing Series on 1.5 mile racetracks. They all happen to be in limited runs the last couple of years at Chicagoland Speedway, but this year he finished 9th. That's an advantage for him because this race and the season ender are both on 1.5 mile speedways. His nemesis right now, all of a sudden, is Kyle Weatherman. Kyle raced this race last year in a limited run for Rulo Brothers Racing. He finished 8th. Now, keep in mind Sarah Cornett-Ching. She's doing a great job in her first season this year. Levine also has to keep an eye on her because she's got experience on 1.5 miles. She actually finished 1 spot better than David this past July at Chicagoland in her only 1.5 mile start. So keep in mind, these big speedways are not a threat to these youngsters. They're learning a lot here in the Scott Rookie Challenge. Levine, however, has the advantage when it comes to 1.5 mile experience here in the ARCA Series.
Well, thank you, Jim. And just ahead of him on the grid, you see Kyle Weatherman in that number 22. He will roll off 10th today, but Weatherman is our Calypso Lemonade Short Track Challenge winner. He was great on the short tracks, but Brendan, in this Scott Rookie Challenge, they only take the top 15 finishes, so Weatherman still has a shot.
Well, and I was noticing Weatherman has not been to all the races, which is why he didn't have the points lead, but if they take the top 15, Weatherman's going to have a really good shot at catching him in those points. It'll be a fun battle to watch.
Great new paint scheme on Sarah Cornett-Ching's car today. Send the kids to camp from Tim Horton Foundation. That's very cool. Well, the drivers are locked in. They're ready to go. Here's the command.
Here to give the command, the most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome the driver of the number 88 Alpha Solutions Chevrolet for Junior Motorsports from Louisville, Kentucky, Ben Rhodes.
Are you ready, race fans? Drivers, start your engines!
So the drivers are flipping the switches and getting ready to go. We're ready to go racing. Yeah, it's a day later. This will be a wild competition today in Kentucky. Engines have fired here at Kentucky Speedway, ready to go racing with the penultimate event of the 2015 ARCA Racing Series. Take a look at our keys to the race today here at Kentucky, Brendan. A little bit of a different situation than yesterday, but no matter what, you always have to manage the bumps.
No, Kentucky, you got to manage those bumps. This place is super bumpy. You got to know how to miss the few bigger ones if your car is not handling them, move around and find it. 2, your tire management. I think that's going to be key today. Green racetrack, you can't move all the way outside to the wall real early now because there's no rubber laid down. And 3, your pit strategy. Do you only do 1 stop and take 1 set of tires? Do you do 2? When do you do it? How long can you make it?
These guys can go over 60 laps on fuel, and yesterday the plan was get as far into the race as you can and make sure we get past halfway, but today a different look.
Yeah, you're not going to have to worry about that weather today, so the halfway strategy has got to be out the window for these guys now. They know they're going to get all 100 laps in, and I'm telling you, I think today the key is going to be who burns that first setup to lay that outside groove in, and he's going to need to use two sets of tires in the pits instead of just 1.
At the top of the screen, you see our Crosley Brands starting grid, and William Byron obviously on the pole, but as Jim Trado told you, he will go to the rear because of an adjustment. And Daniel Suarez, who, I'll tell you, when we watched him race here last year, Brendan, it looked like he had this thing wrapped up, but he's got a lot more experience today than back then.
He's almost had a win in the trucks. He's almost had a win in the Xfinity Series. This young man is really going to be a superstar in this sport, and ARCA, this may be the time that he pulls it off here at the 1.5 mile, but he has run so well in every form of racing this year.
And obviously when William Byron goes to the back, that will move a couple of cars up a little closer to the front. Here's our track description. Obviously a 1.5 miles. They're all different. They look the same, but not really.
No, they're not. And this track is one of the old school. It's flat, 14 degrees of banking in the turns, 4 degrees in the front straightaway. To us, Ray, that is a flat track. That's what makes this place so unique now. The old cookie cutter, they're no more. This is the last of what they called the cookie cutter, and it's still my favorite. Long, straight back straightaway, flat and bumpy, and super tough to drive.
We got 100 laps today. That'll be 150 miles. We talked about that pit window. You can definitely do it in 1, but we'll see if it's a 2-stop strategy today. Brennan Poole, obviously the winner from a year ago, even though Suarez looked like he might have it into the bag. Well, we're going to take a look at our onboard cameras today, and a little bit of a problem here for Austin Wayne Self. That number 98 car with Ace Asphalt has gone to the pit area, and they have the hood up. Let's see if Jim Trado has an update.
It's a planned adjustment, guys. They've been struggling since Tuesday under the hood, trying to figure out something with the throttle system. They've got that cured, but the handling just wasn't to Austin Wayne Self's liking. So crew chief Jamie Jones said, on pace laps are coming down. We're going to give up our 20th starting spot to fix the right front to get that car just so Austin can get through the bumps better. That's their final adjustment to get this young man towards the front.
Well, thank you, Jim. So that race car making some adjustments. We've got 3 other onboards for you today. We'll be watching Bo Lamastus in that Crosley Brands Dodge. He has 4 top 10s this season, and today he'll roll off from the 19th starting position. We talked about that new paint scheme on Sarah Cornett Ching's car today. She'll roll off 13th. And Sarah has really had a great season. The last few races been off the pace a little bit, but she said going to all these new racetracks has certainly been a great experience, and she has the Tim Horton Children's Foundation on the hood of that car. And as we move closer to the front, we go up to the 3rd position, and that is the 01 of Travis Braden. What a great story this young man has been.
I think it's awesome. He's got West Virginia on the race car, me, the Georgetown Hoya, old Big East in me. But anytime you can see somebody with a college on the race car that's going to college, I applaud them for trying to get their education done first. And he's going to be an engineer. Ryan Newman is a Purdue graduate engineer. This young man, I've heard, is double major, aerospace and mechanical engineer at West Virginia. So awesome to have them on the race car. State College College of Engineering and Mining Resources, Mineral Resources. That's awesome. Thank you, West Virginia, for doing that for these guys.
He is a great young man and won in his very first start earlier this season. As we get ready to go racing today here at Kentucky, let's go back down trackside and get thoughts before green. Here's Jim Trado once again.
One more point on Travis Braden. Yes, he did great at Lucas Oil Raceway earlier this year. This is the same race car. His crew chief that day was Matt Weber. Matt has commitments today, and the Truck Series allowed him. So what they did, they brought a NASCAR veteran crew chief, Tony Furr, to work through the Tuesday test. They were top 5 then, and through practice and qualifying, top 5 again. That front row spot has been earned by this young man who's used to racing short tracks all throughout the Midwest. This is a big chance for Travis Braden on a bigger stage. He said he got huge momentum after that win at Lucas Oil. Today, he said, I want to have a good run again. Lots of folks in West Virginia are tuning in to watch me race, and I want to do well for them.
And what a diverse group of drivers we have in the field today. Look at this group right here. A lot of young men in here, but man, they have been racing all over the place in a lot of different forms, and they have all excelled for sure.
Noah Gregson from the Las Vegas, West Coast boy, K&N West leader, William Byron, the East. And how about Austin Cindric, an X-Game medalist? That's really cool to see him here. And of course, Daniel Suarez, Rookie of the Year in Xfinity right now, leading Rookie of the Year. And then Travis Braden.
Cindric driving for Penske, no question about it. That car will be a factor today. They're lined up 2 by 2. Suarez down to the inside. Travis Braden will go to the high side. William Byron in the back, and we're green flag racing in Kentucky.
Great start for his first time out in a mile and a half by Travis Braden. He's holding with Daniel Suarez. Suarez got the lead, but there they are 4 wide right behind him for position.
Josh Williams didn't get going on the start. He'll lose a position as they roll through turns 1 and 2. And look at Will Kimmel. He's going to try to go down to the bottom side and get second place away.
Look at how wide they are already. I was just saying how tough this place is going to be on tires and how narrow the groove is. They're already 2 wide, even 3 wide, battling for 6th, 7th. Oh, big spin in the back.
Couple of cars into the wall as they went down the back straightaway. Sarah Cornett Ching has huge damage to her car. Tommy Hessert 3rd in the points. That Barberis Dodge is really damaged. And how about William Byron, who was our fastest qualifier, went to the back, and he is in big trouble here, and we only went 1 lap at Kentucky.
You know, that's the danger of going to the back. I don't care if it's ARCA racing, Xfinity racing, Camping World Truck racing. You go to the back to start. You got to work, be patient, and work your way around. Haven't seen what happened yet, but man, that's just such a bummer for the fastest car on the track, and they let one slip away there, Ray.
They went down the back straightaway, started to enter into turn number 3, and a couple of cars were already in the process of getting spun, and boy, Tommy Hessert has an incredible amount of damage to that car. Looks like Sarah Cornett Ching's day may be over also.
Oh, the whole nose is ripped off that. Look, you can see her pink valence down there all tore up. That's a bad day for a couple really good-looking race cars out there, too. I mean, the 55, the 2 we've been talking. These are guys that we were expecting good days out of.
Here's a couple of looks of what happened as we go back to real-time racing.
So you see the 55 diving to the bottom of turn 3, Ray. He goes in. He didn't. Oh, that was turn 1. That was off the start.
And that was Bo Lamastis that was in the center of the corner. It looks like the 55 made a little bit of contact with him on that right rear. And here goes Byron down into the corner.
They were already spinning in front of him. Oh, just a little too aggressive too early, Ray. You needed to be a little more patient, especially, like I said, you've got to work past some of these guys. And the 55 showed it in turn 1. He was in a big hurry. Here now we're looking at the 77 and the 2. Let's see what happens here. Here it is. Yep, the 2 just didn't go to the bottom right there. The 77 held his line, and racing deal. Nobody's fault, but Sarah definitely could have maybe given him a little more room and gone down to the bottom of the racetrack there.
Tommy Hessert, a 5-time winner, and when you look at the onboard, it looked like Hessert cut across that corner a little bit, and he has not been to victory lane yet in 2015. Now with just one more opportunity in our final race at Kansas, I would say Hessert is very likely done for the day.
And to me, Ray, there's no blame in that. Looked like Hessert came down a little aggressive. Looked like Sarah maybe could have given him some more room. That's a 50-50 deal. You're racing hard. You're racing for position, and it takes it out. And then, oh, look at who is that? The 25, Brandon Jones, squeaked through the middle there. But the 55 just couldn't get her low down in time.
Let's go back here and take one more look from Sarah's onboard. He's just coming out of turn 2 and now headed down the front straight or back straightaway. The 54 of Krzyzewski gets by them easily.
You know, the 77, he didn't want to be on the outside. We've been talking about that. He did not want to put his tires in the gray, so he tried to come down and make his way down to that groove. Sarah just didn't give it to him.
And the 2 of them have to get in the ambulance and ride to the care center together. So
always fun.
Damage on the very first lap here at Kentucky. 3 cars hurt pretty badly. Tom Hessert was comfortably third in the points for the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards. That would certainly be changing today after he has damage on lap number 1 here at the Kentucky Speedway. That car is headed to the garage area. I want to go back and take a look at a couple more replays of what all happened here on the racetrack. We had taken the green flag. They went through turns 1 and 2. They're down the back straightaway, and William Byron, who was our fast qualifier, had gone to the tail of the field, and he makes pretty good contact with Brandon Lynn there, and the front of that car was damaged.
And, you know, I thought the 25 made it through unscathed right here. Watch this. He splits the middle on him. Looked like he made it through, but I think he got just bumped by Sarah there, and his rear, he put it in the fence in the right rear corner because we saw them on pit road doing a bunch of damage. That's a big points hit. There you go. He's got the right rear. He made it through, but he got bumped just enough that it moved him into that outside wall, and they got to come down and definitely fix that. That right rear needs to be tucked back in there.
So much of this is about a learning experience, Brendan, and when we look at the 25 of Brandon Jones, he had 34 races scheduled this year with 4 different teams. So he went racing in the Camping World Trucks, K&N, here in ARCA. He's done an awful lot. They announced yesterday that he'll have a full-time ride at RCR, so that's a very good deal. But the biggest problem was he spun out during qualifying, and that's what put him in the rear. So once again, being in the back was a bad spot.
That whole thing, the 77, he's second in points, but he was near the back. Sarah Cornett had some good run, struggled a little bit lately, been having good runs in the back. And the 55 going to the back, knew he had a fast race car. He could have been a little more patient and taken his time and picked and chose, but he went pretty hard off the start. And that's what happens when you do it. Brandon Jones, same thing. He had a fast race car. He messed up qualifying. You got to be patient there. He didn't do anything wrong. He tried to get through the middle of a wreck. But that's just Murphy's Law. You're in the back, bad things can happen.
Well, let's hear from one of the drivers. Jim Trado is caught up with the driver, the number 77.
And Tom did bring his car back into the garage area. They're going to work on it. They want to stay third in points. They want to certainly be top 5 owners' points on the line as well. Tom, what did happen in those early laps with the 2?
I mean, it was so early. I don't know. We got through 1 and 2 okay. I didn't really get to see anything. It's an awful tough angle to look at. I'm not sure. I mean, it seemed like I was in my groove there. Sarah was obviously inside of us, but I don't know. I wish I get to see it again. There's nothing really we can do about it now.
We have one more look from Sarah's onboard.
All right.
Sarah Cornetching inside of you here.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, obviously I turned down to get into turn 3. For that angle, it doesn't look so good, but it's awful hard to tell. I wish I could see her going forward there, but if it was our fault, I apologize, but I didn't feel like that way at the time. All right.
Tom Hessert going to help this team get this number 77 Barbera's Autoland Dodge back, but you can see the damage, guys. It's stuffed pretty hard. They may be done for the day.
So the Crosley Brands 150 under caution here at the Kentucky Speedway. The number 77 in the garage will be back, hopefully back to green after a few messages. Well, the chase is on, and it gets underway this weekend at New Hampshire. If you want to know what's going on in the world of NASCAR, you got to tune in to NASCAR Race Hub. We give you the latest from on-track action, what's going on in the pits, and everything from the garage, plus analysis and interviews that you can't get anywhere else. It's always 6 p.m. Eastern on FS1, and don't forget, you can always stream it on Fox Sports Go. Field is lined up again as we get ready to go back to racing. They have been given a 1-to-go signal, and if we take a look back at Bo Lamastus here in the Crosley Brands onboard, he takes off down the straightaway, and we'll see exactly what his viewpoint was of what happened on the racetrack.
Well, he pulled down below Bobby Gerhart there, thought he was going to make a move, and then he went in that corner mighty gently, and the 55 said, hey, I'm coming through, I'm not waiting. So maybe he knew they were going to have a problem in turn 3, wanted to get out of the way.
Yeah, premonition of some kind. Here's Bo going down the back straightaway. And right about now, it's all breaking loose over in turn number 3, and he's able to go to the low side and miss it all. So here come the cars out of turn number 4, down to the inside. Daniel Suarez, Travis Braden on the outside, back to green flag racing at lap number 9.
Whoa, big problem off the start. 4th place restarter there, just missed the shift completely. bottlenecked the whole field. We're 3 wide again into turn 1.
That was David Levine, our point leader in the Scott Rookie Challenge, so he did not get a good start, and they go down the back straightaway. Now, that number 15 of Suarez has stretched it out a bit. Here goes down to the inside. Noah Gregson is going to run side by side with Ross Kenseth.
Yeah, he side drafted him pretty hard right there. Got Noah loose just coming up the racetrack, but he's going to hold on right there. That's tough to do in these cars, man. They rely on side force. That was a good job of hanging on to that race car.
3 wide as they come through the tri-oval. Now they go back to 2 wide. There's Gregson in that number 78. We see the 22 Crosley. That is Kyle Weatherman, and he's running side by side with the 6 car of Josh Williams, and now he'll clear him.
Well, Kyle Weatherman has been so strong this year. He hasn't shown up to every race, but when he shows up, man, he is a force to be reckoned with.
We have to go back to that Scott Rookie Challenge and remind everybody that it's just the top 15 finishes, and Weatherman hasn't even had 15 races yet, so we won't know the winner of that till the race is over at Kansas.
Yeah, and right now, a little bit of a battle for second. You got the 01. We talked about Travis Braden, his first mile and a half, doing a really, really nice job of holding off Cindric right there. And if you recognize that name, folks, that's the son of Tim Cindric, who has run Penske Racing, the IndyCar side, and now the entire organization forever. That young man's going to be in some good equipment here. And here he goes to the inside.
Austin Cindric now taking a look at that 0-1. He's down to the inside, but it looks like Braden keeps the momentum up on the high side, and he's able to hold the position.
Really nice job holding that high groove right there. I'm really impressed with Travis.
Sarah Cornett-Ching has come out of the infield care center. Let's hear from her with Jim.
Sarah, we just have to ask you the obvious question. What did happen? It was really early in the race.
Yeah, I didn't get a good restart, and Tom Hesser was being super aggressive, took us 3 wide off turn 2, and when he got on the outside of me, it was never clear, and he came right across my nose. I did what I could to keep it off of him, but I don't know, lap 1, we haven't even completed a lap. You're driving that aggressively. It seems like someone with his experience should know better than that.
Sarah started 13th, Tom Hester 16th on the grid. She also is racing for the Rookie of the Year Challenge and the Scott Rookie Challenge. 3rd in the points. This will hurt too.
Couple of 8th place runs for Sarah this year, and looks like she is done for the day. We'll see if there's any chance they can get that 77 back in, but I doubt it with this short of a race at just 100 laps.
Now, right now, Daniel Suarez has this thing really in control. He's pulled away almost a 1-second lead. And he's still got a great battle, though. Braden holding off Cindric here, and that's looking like it's the battle of the deal for the moment. The 2 kids that each don't have a lot of experience. You know, they each have 1 race this season. Both of them, 1 win, 1 top 5. So this is going to be fun watching experience race inexperience and see who learns fastest.
You know, when we look at the side quarter panel there of that 0-1, it says Platinum Express. That is a trucking company from up around Dayton, Ohio, and we want to say thanks to Mina Burba, who owns that, and she is helping get Travis Braden to the racetrack every week. She found this young man, they put him in a late model, and he has been doing a great job. Cindric really putting some pressure on him now in that AutoZone Ford.
You know, great stories like that, and that's what's awesome about the ARCA series. You have people that you can do it at a better cost. Yeah. You don't have to spend the millions you have to spend to get in the next level stuff, and really nice to have great people like that take care of young drivers. And right now, these 2, though, they're both learning. Look at them. They're both searching. I remember racing this style race car. I missed this race car. It relies so heavily. Right now, you're going to see him. He's diving to the inside. Cindric, yeah, he gives him just enough air, but it's not enough to get that pass done. He's going to side draft him here, but that outside groove,
trying.
The motor just holds on up there, but man, Cindric's almost there. If he can just get to that right rear corner and suck the air back, it'll pull him back real quickly.
There's the onboard of our Platinum Express race car there. That is Travis Braden, and obviously he got his very first win in his first start. That's a pretty cool accomplishment. And this young man was scheduled today to go over to run the CRA Fall Brawl over at Indianapolis, and he said, man, I got a chance to be in the ARCA car. I'm staying here.
You gotta take it. I gotta say, great setup on that race car. Their crew chief, everybody's doing a great job. Look at how bumpy. You can see his whole body bumping in there, but watch his hands when he goes in the corner. Very smooth. He's not back steering at all. He's not fighting that steering wheel. Look at that. Nice and easy. 1 move. Little bit of checks here and there. That's the bumps taking him, but very smooth. Great job with the setup on that car from a very inexperienced group.
Yep, Tony Furr calling the shots down there today, and as Trado was saying earlier, Matt Weber at the Camping World Truck Series race today, and look at this, our front 3 is tightened up. Those 2 that were fighting for second place are catching Daniel Suarez in that Aris Toyota.
Could be tires already, Ray. I told you the tires are going to be key. Hoosiers do a great job, but they're going to wear out. Daniel drove away early, probably put a little too much heat in them things. Now he's searching for a line, but they're definitely catching him. Braden Cindric can cut that lead over in half. They're now only 4/10 behind, and here we go. Now he's going to get to that right rear quarter. nose, suck him back. There we go.
Looks like he might have the momentum this time, and again, they are right there in the tire tracks of Suarez. But boy, he's got to be working that right front pretty hard on the bottom side, too.
He has been, and you can see what happens each time is the motor. Anytime you can keep that motor wound up and running up at the top like that, you're going to have an advantage on the straightaways. And that is what Braden is doing right now. He is letting that motor stay wound up. He gets a better run. Cindric's using the shorter distance. Anybody that ran track knows bottom is shorter. But you can keep the motor wound up, keep him at 200 more RPM. 200 more RPM equates to a lot of speed.
Daniel Suarez has a career best finish in ARCA of second. That was at Daytona earlier this year, trying to break through to victory lane today here at the Kentucky Speedway. He has been out front since the drop of the green flag in the Crosley Brands 150. Racing was scheduled for Friday night here at the Kentucky Speedway. Rain came and we got delayed, but it's a good one today in the Crosley Brands 150. I'm Ray Dunlap along with Brendan Gaughan up in the control tower. Jim Trado calling the action down in the pits today, and we're 1/4 of the way through. Brendan, I'm curious your thoughts. Put your crew chief hat on right now and tell me, what are you thinking about? When are you going to call your guys in? How early do you need to do it to check those tires?
Well, watching lap times, and they're not falling off a ton right now, so as long as lap times can stay maintained where they're at, you're not going to worry about it. If your driver says, hey, I feel something weird, you bring them in immediately because you know that they're chewing these tires up. So right now it's in the driver's hand, and the lap times, you watch those as a crew chief. The driver has to give you some feedback and say, is it fading? Do I feel something weird? And the second you feel something weird, you got to hit pit road. So right now it's on a two-stop strategy, or a one-stop strategy, and let me get a caution right about now.
While we were under caution, we saw the number 78 and Noah Gregson come to the pit area. Let's find out what happened there with Jim.
Yeah, the current NASCAR K-10 Pro Series West Point leaders trying to make an approval process here to run a mile-and-a-half racetrack for other NASCAR opportunities. He's with a great team. This is the car that finished third a year ago with eventual series champion Mason Mitchell. His car is down on horsepower. It had been. Look at the move he's making here on the 25 of Brandon Jones, but he's only getting 6,100 RPM on the straightaways. It should be about 7,500 RPM on these ARCA Ilmor 396s. So something is amiss, whether it be electrical or a plug wire. They had it here on the pit road, put the hood up, checked it over quickly, sent it back on the racetrack, but he's certainly down on power in the number 78 Alert ID board.
That's a cool thing, that Alert ID. It's a bracelet that you can get, and you can put it on Alzheimer's patients, and it has a GPS inside it, so if they happen to get away from the home, you can locate them. That's cool.
See, my grandfather had dementia and Alzheimer's, and that's a great deal. I wish we would have known about that years ago. Fantastic job of finding a nice sponsor. That's trouble, though. Our K&N East leader and our West leader both having problems today, right?
We talked about the diversity in this field. No question about it. A great field of cars. As I walked through the garage throughout the weekend, I figured we had 15 or 16 cars that were actual contenders for the victory. I'm not sure if we can keep the 25 on that list, though, after they got that damage. Not able to keep up the pace today is Brandon Jones.
He's still on the lead lap. He's still hanging on. If we get a caution, he might be all right to get a little more damage repair. Gregson taking back off now. He's definitely, whatever problem they had, it looks like it's fixed itself, or they fixed it on pit road, but he needs no caution. He needs it to go green, so everybody pits under green to get his 2 laps back.
Could have been a plug wire off if they were able to fix that. That certainly could make it better. And we've got a very close interval up front right now as we see that number 15 of Daniel Suarez right in the tire tracks of him, or that 01. That is Travis Braden. He's got that Platinum Express car dialed in pretty well today. We moved back through the field. We saw Austin Cindric was running in third. He is in the good position. And how about Will Kimmel? This is a racetrack, Brendan, that would be very, very special for this young man if he could pull off a victory. This team has been around a long time. He's competed at a high level, but they haven't been able to get it all put together.
Oh, we know the Kimmel name in this sport. You know, Bill and Frank both. Will does a great job. He's had a rough season, right? I mean, his season has definitely not gone at what they planned. They've only got 3 top 5 finishes, 4 top 10s. It's been a little rough on 5 top 10s, but it's been a little rough on them this year. But this is definitely a place they can turn around, and they're running in a spot that they can make it, they can at least now battle for that win when they're running up here.
A couple of new sponsors on that car. SO Contracting on the rear quarter panels, and as we drop back through the field just a little bit, we'll see that Federated Auto Parts Toyota. That is the number 52 of Ross Kenseth. Kenseth picking his first career win here in this series when we went to Michigan International Speedway, and he's another one of those drivers that was planning on going away today. He wanted to go to Pensacola, Florida to run a late model. He said, nope, I'm staying right here. We're going to try to get win number 2.
Well, you know, he's run 1 race this year. It has 1 win.
Yeah, that's good average.
That's a good average. He's got Kenny Schrader's stuff right there. I love old Kenny Schrader. Anytime I see that 52 Federated Auto Parts, I immediately think of my man Kenny, and it's so much fun to see them run up front.
Schrader is the oldest winner in ARCA, and he won.
Isn't he the oldest winner in like many
probably
series?
Everything. Yeah, probably everything. But last night I said he was 69 years old. I need to correct that. He's only 60. So here we go. 99, a little bit off the paces. Down to the inside goes Will Kimmel. He's going to try to take that spot.
I think the 99 got a little loose coming out of 2, lost some momentum, and Kimmel taking advantage of it. And now I put him on the high side, so he's got that. Remember, that motor is revved up. He's going to try to grab that right rear fender. There it is, side draft. Slingshot back up next to him. See where it ends up in this corner.
The race car down on the bottom is Will Kimmel. That is chassis 320, and it has been around. I think his dad Bill told me that it's probably about 40 years old, something like that. But how about this car that the 99 is driving? That is a former RCR car, and it's chassis number 71. Ryan Newman used this in ARCA a few years ago. He went to Charlotte and absolutely dominated, won the pole and just blistered the field. So they've got some really good equipment from Penske. But look, Kimmel going to try to go to the high side and get it done.
Sucked that right rear fender, did the slingshot. He's on the outside, got the motor wound up. Wow, he drove it in hard, though. Look at Cindric, not afraid to drive that baby in there.
Awesome racing here in the ARCA Racing Series as they go through the corner side by side, continuing that. And Ross Kenseth's right back there taking a look at it, saying, you guys just keep that up.
Just saying, Ross Kenseth's loving them, slowing their lap times down, battling hard. He's going to get in the mix for this third-place spot. Man, they're still side by side, though. Track is widened out really well. Hoosier Rubber is laid down well, looking nice.
And you notice that interval between Suarez and this group that's racing side by side has started to grow. It's a little over 2 seconds now. Daniel Suarez with a great run. He has been out front in that Aris Toyota number 15. That bright orange car is flying today in the Crosley Brands 150. You're watching ARCA from the Kentucky Speedway.
Caution.
Back at Kentucky Speedway, the yellow flag is just now waving as we've gotten 40 laps in today of the Crosley Brands 150, and Will Kimmel fans may be looking up going, hey, how about this? When we went away to break, that young man was in 4th position. He was trying to get up there and catch Austin Cindric, and now that 69 car was right on the bumper of our leader. And he has done a great job of getting through traffic.
I'll tell you right here, he did a great job battling through traffic. You see Will Kimmel right now, Brandon Jones going a lap down, the 01 of our guy Travis Braden all day. But look at this, 3 wide to the bottom. Did a better job of fighting his way through traffic. Got there, holding the bottom, and watch this launch off the corner, Ray. Right there. Good bite, took off and set sail, and he was on the bumper of Daniel Suarez when the caution came out for the ring.
Working the very bottom of the racetrack was Will Kimmel, and our big question was, will these guys be headed to the pit area to get some tires? But now we see a little bit of precipitation coming onto the lens of our camera. That's why we're under yellow here. This is our second yellow of the day. Our first one came on lap 1, where three cars got taken out over in turn number 3. So as we are under yellow for the second time, we need to get away for break one more time. We'll update you on what's going on here at the Kentucky Speedway. More ARCA racing coming up shortly. Coming up on the top of the hour, and we are back at the Kentucky Speedway. We are under caution for a very brief rain shower here. You're watching the Crosley Brands 150. We have had the number 15 of Daniel Suarez out front throughout the course of the day. In our last couple of closing laps, we saw Will Kimmel go from 4th to 2nd, and he headed right up there to the bumper of Suarez. But there's been some strategy play out too, Brendan.
Yeah, you know, right now the rain came. We're trying to, some crew chiefs may be saying get to halfway, and the rain may stay. I'm looking at blue skies right now. I see blue skies above our booth. I see blue skies all around us. This looks like it's one shower right over us. So I think it was a great strategy move. Right now we had 2 cars hit pit road. We had Kyle Weatherman, and we had the 99, who was fading, of Austin Cindric, who probably needed tires. I think we're going to get this race back green. I think their crew chiefs did the right move. They brought him in, put the tires on. Now, if it does go green, right before we go green, you're going to see Daniel Suarez, Will Kimmel, all these guys have to come back and take their tires.
Right.
So I think it was a good move by Cindric and by Weatherman to take it now. They're going to come out 1st and 2nd when this all shakes out.
We've got to get past 51 laps in order for this to be an official race. So the question becomes, will the rain stay? Will it clear up? Lots of variables there. For more, let's go back to the pits and check in with Jim Trado.
Well, Austin Cindric in the AutoZone Ford pitted. That's the Cunningham Motorsports third entry, overseen by Chris Carey. They came in for 4 tires and fuel. No changes there. Their teammate Kyle Weatherman was up to 5th before he pitted. Let's check in with his crew chief Paul Andrews on Weatherman's number 22 Crosley Brands Dodge. Why'd you pit there, Paul? What'd you end up changing?
Well, we pitted because everybody's had to pit, and let's say just run this race till it pours down rain, and we're not halfway yet, so everybody's got to pit, and we can make it the rest of the way. We need a little adjustment, and it's time for 4 tires.
Who is your weatherman? Because you made a pretty smart move there if this thing clears out.
Well, I just look around, and there's not much. There's only a little cloud in the sky, and I hope like heck I made the right decision.
That goes back to the 70s with Rusty Wallace as a crew chief. Alan Kowicki's championship runs as a crew chief in NASCAR, and of course a very successful run here running Cunningham Motorsports. I'd say it's a pretty good move thus far, Paul.
Thanks a lot. We'll see what happens.
That's Paul Andrews, crew chief on Kyle Weatherman's Crosley Brands Dodge. They pitted from 5th. We'll see if that is the winning move, or at least the challenging move here. Austin Cindric did make a slight adjustment, however, as you saw he's losing that track time, so they wanted the tire pressure change onto the 99.
Jim Trado just asked Paul, who's your weatherman?
And he didn't take it.
Yeah,
he didn't go for it.
Guess who's driving?
Weatherman.
Yeah.
His weatherman is in the car. I like Carrier. He and I are the same type of weatherman. We looked in the sky and said, I see blue. It's going to go back.
Don't need a radar. Just look up, right?
Hey, if it works, we both are geniuses. If it doesn't, I'm the guy on TV that everybody's going to say, should have kept your mouth shut.
Well, here's the deal. A couple of guys have made their bed there, and we also saw the number 38 and 98 come to pit road. So Ryan Reed and Teddy Brown trying to make some kind of a call, too, and also the 98 of Austin Wayne Self. We have an onboard camera today with Austin Wayne, and that is sponsored by Ace Asphalt. So those guys have they've won this year by making some strategy calls, no question about it.
These things a lot of times come down to strategy, and what can you do? We've watched in the Xfinity Series a lot lately, and in the Cup Series. How about the truck race last week with John Hunter Nemechek winning the fuel mileage deal?
Sure.
You never know what these things are going to do. Mother Nature throws things at us. Cautions throw things at us at different times. Anything can happen, and in ARCA Series racing, it's no different. Anything can happen.
On board with our number 42 Dodge, that is Bo Lamastus. We talked about Crosley Brands and what great things he's been doing, and obviously they are our sponsor of the race today, so glad to have them with us. And as we go on board with our 01, that is Travis Braden, and our 01 sponsorship today is from Matheson Gases. And right now, Braden runs in 3rd position, but once again, Will Kimmel was a lot faster, was able to go by that 01, and he is now right on the heels of our leader, Daniel Suarez. Our front runners have stayed out. We've had a couple of guys go to the pits. It's a strategy call, and Brendan says, look at those blue skies. We're going to go back racing here at the Kentucky Speedway. Back at the Kentucky Speedway, we see the pit area is drying. The report is the rain has stopped, and we have some clearing in the sky. We went about 40 laps before we went under caution for this very brief shower. Will Kimmel was coming up through the field. He now is in 2nd place right behind Daniel Suarez. And, we talked about Suarez, obviously Xfinity getting a lot of experience, but here in these ARCA cars, today is just his 4th start. He ran here at Kentucky last year, led 39 laps, and finished 5th that day. As I said, in Daytona this year, he finished 2nd, and then we went to Chicagoland and they had a problem. He finished 22nd. So just his 4th start, that'd be pretty cool if he's able to keep that thing out front today. But again, a lot of strategy yet to play out here in today's event.
Well, NASCAR has the NASCAR Mexico Series, and that's where Daniel came from. He does a great job, did a great job down there, has come to America, and is doing a great job. I've always said one thing about Daniel, and you want to give a guy like that a really experienced spotter, right?
Right.
So you want to give him some guy that knows how to help him guide through things. But I've always disagreed. I feel that they should give Daniel a Spanish-speaking spotter. His first language is Spanish.
Yep.
So I think it takes a minute for it to really digest if you're not speaking his native language to him. And I've talked to Daniel about that, and I've talked to the guys, and it's just a side note that I've always had. I think that Daniel needs a Spanish speaker to be his spotter because it'll be easier for him to make the moves in a quicker when he needs them.
He said he's learning to think in English a lot faster too, so obviously that's making some big strides. Well, we saw the number 98 come on to pit road. That was Austin Wayne Self, started 20th today. Let's get more on him from Jim.
Crew chief is Jamie Jones. It's a new repairing. Jamie's with Mason Mitchell Motorsports. He has been for portions of the last 3 seasons. Jamie has been brought in. This past Tuesday, they made a lot of changes to that number 98 AM Technical Solutions Chevrolet. They're still making changes. The car has been free. They tightened it up again under this caution for a pit stop. So as Austin Wayne Self is trying to get into 3rd in points, they know what's on the line. As Tom Hessert had an early crash, he's 3rd in points. 4th in points, Austin Wayne Self. In these final 2 races, they could indeed get a podium finish, if you will, in the points. They're doing everything they can to help this sophomore driver figure things out in the Mason Mitchell Motorsports number 98.
Well, thank you, Jim. There was just a 45-point differential, and obviously the number 77 in the garage, and right now Hessert has scored back in 31st position, so that will make a big difference in the point standings. 1 race to go at Kentucky, and then we head off to the Kansas Speedway. We fully expect to get back to racing today here at the Kentucky Speedway. A brief shower has put us under our 2nd caution of the day. We have 49 laps complete. We have to go past halfway in order for it to be a complete race, and the ARCA officials have said let's leave the cars out there because the racetrack is coming back to us very quickly. The rain has stopped. Suarez is our leader. Kimmel has moved up to 2nd. Well, if you just joined us, let's take a look back at what has happened so far today here. We were just under green. We go down the back straightaway, and Sarah Cornett Ching and the number 77 of Tom Hessert make contact. Both of those cars with severe damage. And William Byron, who had won the pole for today's event, made an adjustment, had to go to the back of the pack.
Yeah, right there you watched it. I mean, Sarah's pretty hot about it, but it looked like she could have gone, given some more room, got to the bottom. And there you see the 55 William Byron just driving right into the back of him, nowhere to go. That's what happens when you go to the back. I've said it 100 times already in the show.
It put him to the rear, and that put him in grave danger. Lap 36, here comes Will Kimmel. That number 69 car is on a rail. He goes by Austin Cindric as they're racing for 3rd.
Now on lap 38, once again, battling through traffic. The 01 is in 2nd. Look at that, 3 wide to the bottom. Gets him for 2nd place, finishes the move off by getting by Brandon Jones.
And that brings Will Kimmel to the front, but at lap 41, we said, hey, what is going on? Billy Venerini couldn't believe that there was rain. We knew there was going to be overcast skies today, but there was no forecast for any precipitation, so the yellow came out, and we've been under caution now for 9 laps, but we have reached the halfway. As we take a look at our top 10, a bit of parity up there. We've got Fords, Toyotas, Chevrolets, and Dodge all in the top 10.
You know, Bo Lamass is doing a nice job. Got himself up to 9th place. Ryan Reed, we haven't talked about today. And Chris Windham doing a nice job and sitting in 5th right now. Great job by those guys.
Bo Lamastis is from Louisville, Kentucky. And look at this. Here is the number 6 car of Josh Williams. It appears that he is headed to the garage area.
Which garage area?
Oh, wait. I think he is headed to the Xfinity garage here.
There's 62. That's my stuff. So that'd be the wrong garage area.
Oh, hey, Josh. You're going the wrong way. Wonder what is wrong with that Musselman Applesauce race car. Josh Williams, 2nd in the points. He was just 225 points out, hoping to have a great day and put some pressure on Enfinger. Jim Trado, do you have an update on Josh?
Well, the 3rd driver in the top 6 in points has an issue. Brendan, you can maybe tell us what that feels like. The left side of the rear track mount has been broken off at the weld, so there's a serious suspension issue. Josh is very much a hands-on guy, completely frustrated here. They came down pit road, they assessed it, they're going back behind the wall from pit stall 3. That's why he went through that garage to get to his to see if they can repair it to get back on the racetrack.
Well, Jim, as you were telling that story about the 6 car, we also saw our 2nd place runner, Will Kimmel, give up his position to come down pit road, and that was on lap number 51.
And this is pretty bright. Here's what happened. His crew chief finally said, okay, we should have stopped earlier, right? So he didn't. Now what's going to happen is all those guys that did not pit, now that they realize they're going to go back green, are going to hit pit road. He's going to be able to pull right back in front of him. So he's going to restart in 3rd, most likely. Great move by I guess, Bill Kimmel is probably still his crew chief.
Yeah, that's his dad, Bill, calling the shots. So Will gives up 2nd place. He was right behind Suarez, but everybody up front, the Suarez car, Braden, Ross Kenseth, and Chris Windham, all of those guys apparently still need to come to pit road. Jim?
Well, there's a mandatory rule in ARCA where the teams must pit within 10 laps of the finish of the race. Will come on discussion with his father as Will left pit road, said, we didn't have a winning car anyway, so I'm glad we did what we did. They made an adjustment on that number 69 Ford to get Will in position. His shop is only an hour away. This team has yet to win in the ARCA Racing Series, but Will knows how important it is to do well. So as he's getting that pit stop here at the halfway point, that'll be their only stop. But the thought was, we need something better to stay with the 15 machine. Daniel Suarez, who has yet to pit.
Well, thank you. The Portland Recycling there on the hood. So a couple of new sponsors with Will. And both of those companies from very close to here. So a number of fans in the stands rooting Will on. And as we look at some of our other drivers in the field, there we see the number 36. That is Chris Windham. And guess what, Brendan? He's got to go to Eldora tonight. He's hoping to run in the Four Crown Nationals.
Right now he's saying, hey, wait. We need to get this race going. Let's get back under green. We got to go because he's got to get us. He's a hell of a USAC driver. So he's doing a nice job here today, running in the 4th spot right now. He definitely, though, is trying to get to his main gig, which is out in Eldora.
Lyra Motorsports picked up their first win earlier this year. We went to Chicago. Ryan Reed went to victory lane that day. And today, Lyra Motorsports has 4 entries in the field. They're spread out all over the place. Chris Windham currently in 4th, their highest runner. So we've made it past the halfway. This is an official race. And look at this. Here come our front runners to the pit road. It looked like Ross Kenseth was going to try to fake them out, but our front 4 or 5 have all decided it's time to pit. And you're right. Kimmel made a great call.
Because Kimmel's going to be able to pass all those cars to get back to restart in the 2nd spot or 3rd spot. Great call by the 22. Great call by the 99. And a brilliant call by the 69. And here we are on pit road taking 4 tires for everybody.
Down to the pits and Jim Trado.
This is the stop that Daniel Suarez said the car was a bit free off. That's the only issue he had with his car in their discussion under caution. The decision was made by crew chief Jeff McClure with Venturini Motorsports. Bring it down for 4 tires. Also, middle of your screen, Travis Braden also started on the front row next to Suarez. This pit stop may take a bit longer. He's got a kind of a crew assembled by committee because some of his guys are still at the short track. They did a nice job with 4 tires there in their 01 West Virginia machine. We also saw the 3rd place car on pit road as well. 4 tires for all 3 of them.
Thank you, Jim. Lots of adjustments going on, tires going on, and these guys will head back to the track. But guess what? The strategy call was made earlier as Austin Cindric and Kyle Weatherman came to pit road. They'll be out front. Will Kimmel also coming to the pit road prior to this group. So all the strategy now has played out. We're hoping it'll stay dry and we can finish this thing. It's a 100-lapper today for the ARCA Racing Series with just 2 races to go. We got to about lap 40 and the rain came very briefly here at the Kentucky Speedway. We now have an official race as we've gone past halfway, but we want to get this thing all the way to the end and sort it out. All the strategy has played itself out as the drivers have now been to pit road that we believe are factors to win today. The first couple of guys to come down pit road were obviously Austin Cindric and Kyle Weatherman. Then we saw the number 69 of Will Kimmel. Then a big group of cars will be right behind that group, and they're all very, very fast.
No, they are, and I was completely wrong apparently about the two pit stops for tires twice. That was completely thrown out the window, and part of it was the race staying green for so long.
Sure.
The rain has washed away a little bit of that rubber, but this Hoosier rubber laid down really well. I think that's not going to be a factor now. But the move, I'm telling you, that's a great move. Cindric was fading bad.
Right.
Pitted at the right time. He's in the lead. Weatherman hadn't really done much to say, hey, I'm up front, I'm strong. Now he's going to get to restart in clean air. Great move by those guys. Lamastus, hadn't talked about him. Ryan Reed, Grant Enfinger, our points leader. We hadn't talked anything about those guys. Now they're in the top 5. Great strategy move by their crew chiefs.
How about Bo Lamastus up in 3rd position right now, and right behind him, Ryan Reed. Reed picked up the win at Chicago. Again, I talked about that. And so he certainly could be a factor. They had a horrible vibration in that race car during practice. Had the transmission out, pulled out the drive shaft, worked on the rear end. They had a lot to do, but we are getting 1 to go here. So all right, let's go back to racing.
If Lamastus wins, does he keep his own jukebox?
Absolutely. He said it would be kind of like a return. He would take it back out of the store, but take it back to Louisville. That's the one he would like.
There you go. I like that theory. That's a great CEO right there.
Heck yeah.
But he's in the spot, man. These guys are in the catbird seat. You see Grant Enfinger right there starting on the bottom. Haven't talked much about him today. Battling for the points with the 6 out and with the 77 problems. I think Grant Enfinger now, he can turn that light switch on. He can go and not worry.
Let me give you some of the numbers for Grant Enfinger this year. Obviously, we talked about his 6 wins, but how about 11 top 5s? That's pretty good, but the number that really jumps out to me is 792 laps led coming into this race and 12 different races. That is some stout numbers. 6 wins this season. He picked up the first 3 in a row, and that's the 2nd year that he's done that. An all-time record here in the ARCA Racing Series.
Anytime you can beat a record that you know had to be held by Frank Kimmel, you've done something right. And Enfinger doing a hell of a job. What a great job by that race team.
Daytona, then Mobile, then Nashville. He wins 3 in a row.
3 different and completely diabolically different places.
Yep.
Shows a great all-around talent. Nice job. Great job by that race team too.
Berlin, DuQuoin, and Salem.
He's won on every track you got. Dirt, super speedway. I mean, what more can you say? There's got to be somebody out there saying they want to give Grant Enfinger a shot somewhere.
Let's get more on that 38. Back to Jim Trado.
Well, the big issue was where they were going to restart. That's why we're still under this caution. I believe one of the issues was crew chief Teddy Brown saying, wait a minute, we pitted with the lap down cars. Yeah, we made the decision 1 lap later, but don't penalize us by putting us way back in the field. So his justful right starting spot is right where he is. That car was a bit tight, so they actually worked the track bar to get the car a bit freer in the corner for the Lilly Diabetes Ford. Teddy Brown's got 4 cars in the field for Lear Motorsports, so he's on the box with Ryan. They did a great number at Chicagoland, as you know, winning the race, Ray. But this car was a lot of work since Tuesday. Ryan Reed now is just comfortable in this race car after that most recent change on lap 43 when they came down pit road. Okay.
They're still trying to sort out where they're restarting right now. I just saw Daniel Suarez go through the field. They're definitely working on what's supposed to happen. But Daniel Suarez now is going to restart way back in the lined up, actually in the looks like the 10th spot. So that's going from clean air the whole day. We'll see if now Daniel Suarez has the race car we thought he had when he was up front.
Yeah, and again, this is sort of what played out last year. He was out front, the car was on a rail, but once he got into some traffic, not able to hold that position, ended up finishing 5th here at Kentucky a year ago. Kimmel will start just ahead of him, and how about this? Good run today for Bobby Gerhart. Gerhart right there in the mix.
Gerhart, anytime he's near the front and can smell it, you know he knows how to find the victory lane. So
now
that's definitely...
They're showing Gerhart a lap down. So again, they're trying to sort this all out of who's where. So
yeah, if Gerhart's a lap down, he should not be sitting right there for that restart. He should be back behind the lead lap cars, because this is just like NASCAR's rule. Lead lappers get to move forward.
Okay, we're getting ready to go for the restart. On the outside, Austin Cindric in that AutoZone Ford, and down to the inside, the Crosley Dodge. That is Kyle Weatherman, ready to go. 43 laps to go, and here we go back to green at ARCA.
Good restart by the 99, and a great jump by the 38. Here he comes.
Well, Lamastus didn't quite come up through the gears. A couple of guys going to try to split him as they go down, and we're 3 wide for the lead as they roll through turn number 2. Cindric in the middle, Weatherman to the bottom, and here comes Ryan Reed.
What a restart by Ryan Reed, taking it to the outside, and here they are, 3 wide still going into turn 3. Here we go, hold on.
Yeah, baby, down to the middle. Here comes Austin Cindric trying to hold his line. They're still 3 wide as they come through turns 3 and 4.
Oh, the 22 is super loose down there, but he has to fall in behind the 99 of Cindric. It looks like Cindric takes command of the lead right here.
Austin Cindric goes to the lead, but Ryan Reed's not going to give it up. Down to the inside goes car number 38, but it looks like momentum still on the side of the high side for the number 99.
38 lost the nose right there, got real tight. Somebody way outside near the wall. Well, he kept it off, though. Great job. Look at Cindric now, set sail. And here's Daniel Suarez. He's already cleared a bunch of them. Now he's underneath Will Kimmel. That's for the, looks like the 5th spot.
Here comes that number 15 flying back through the field. Kimmel says, don't go so fast. I'm going to try the crossover move. And here they come out of turn number 4, side by side. Kimmel has the spot.
Man, this is a heck of a battle for Suarez. Wants to get there now. He does not want to waste any more time. He knows how fast of a race car he has. Well, Kimmel pushes up. Whew, almost thought he was going to slide into the left rear quarter there, but there we go. Suarez with the motor going to pull away.
These guys have fresh tires on now. They should be back up to full pressure, and we continue racing. Ross Kenseth now in that Federated Auto Parts number 52 trying to put some pressure on Kimmel.
Remember, we saw earlier with Kimmel, he did not take off early.
Right.
We waited a long time. After about 35, 40 laps is when his race car really came in. Right now, it may be the same thing. He's got to wait a few laps for his race car to come up to pressures. But you know what I'm noticing? The 01 car, now that we go to his in-car, he has not moved forward very well at all. He is not making his way through traffic. Well, he's mired back in the, looks like the 12th position, and he's just, that's experience right there.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the experience to get by these people, but he's being smart. Rather pass him slowly than be in the garage right now with a wreck.
Good call there, and we see Matt Krzyzewski in the 54 now trying to go to the inside of that 98. That is Austin Wayne Self, and here comes Braden down to the bottom side. Boy, there is racing all over this track today at the Kentucky Speedway.
Braden just got by that 36 in time as he wiggled, and now he's making his way underneath the 98 in a hurry. He is on now Now he's settled out, let everybody stretch out. Now he's putting it to him.
I think he's listening to the broadcast. You said he's not passing people, so he said, put the hammer down.
Well, he did it right. He waited till everybody, don't put yourself in a position to come home in a milk carton with a wrecked race car. He waited a couple laps. Now here he goes.
What a season it's been for Matt Krzyzewski. Had plans to run just 2 races at Daytona and at Talladega, but he has made it out to the track and pretty much posted top 10s all the way across the board, except for 1 race at Iowa. And on the way to the racetrack here, their semi-hauler caught on fire, and they had a complete destruction. Didn't get here for the test on Tuesday, so it put them a little bit behind.
Well, you can't. It's hard to make up anything when those sorts of deals happen, and life happens, you know. You got to work your way through it. Those boys did. They're here. They're running well. The 98 car we're watching right here, he's faded pretty good. You know, he had a good stretch in the middle of the season there. He had 1, 2, 3, 6 top 10s in a row. Oh, there we go. The 68 or 69 slowing down, but Self, he slowed down the last couple races. He definitely has hit a roadblock.
Here's a good battle. Ross Kenseth trying to get up there and race with Will Kimmel. The race car that that Ross Kenseth has today, that is chassis 412, and they finished second here back in 2014 with that very car, so they felt pretty confident about it. So did Ross and his crew chief Donnie Richardson.
That's for 6th and 7th, and right now, like I said, Kimmel, I don't think his race car comes in until at least 20 laps into the run. So Kimmel's going to have to fight for every inch of racetrack right now, hold as much track position as he can till his race car comes to him, and he can try to make that charge to the front again.
There's that 59 and David Levine doing a nice job today. He's from Highland Park, Illinois. And now we move back to this good battle we've got up front there. We see Suarez trying to catch up with the 22, and those guys racing right along with Grant Enfinger.
You know, right here, they've lined out. Daniel Suarez, though, made his way past what he needed. He's in 5th. Now he's got to start picking these guys off one by one. It's not going to be easy as it was to go from 10th to 5th. Now he's going to have to fight.
You said to me in break the last time, we haven't seen Enfinger. I wonder where he is. He was back in 10th or 11th, and guess what? Here he is in the top 3, a contender one more time.
But you told me last year he had a 200-something point lead when they came into this race, and he didn't win the championship. I think he started this race very cautious, saying, hey, let's win this championship this year. Let's play it safe for a minute. And now that you have the 6 car out and the 77 car out, now he can really go and say, okay, I can battle for the win and really drive the heck out of this thing.
Looks like Enfinger's coming to the front in a hurry. Let's get an update on that Chevrolet. Back to the pits and Jim.
He made a pit stop under caution just prior to halfway, guys, and I got an update from the team. The Allegiant Travel Chevrolet was a bit tight. They were fighting conditions all weekend. They were 16th, 17th on the speed chart. A lot of head scratching here in the GMS racing pit. But what they did on that pit stop, they freed the car up a bit, and Grant is now searching for a better line. It's working for the point leader now. I did ask him yesterday, so with all these struggles, are you okay with running 9th? He said, absolutely not. We want to win every race and max points. I'm not here to point race. I'm here to win races. I saw how heartbroken he was 1 year ago in that hauler after finishing 30th. I saw him with reservation, Brendan. I think he called it. They were cautious the first half. Now pedals down. No more pit stops at 23. Grant Enfinger here today.
Well, thank you, Jim. You know, they lost all those points by blowing up here and crashing in the final race last year. And I kind of thought they'd come in here and just, if they could get a top 5, they'd sure take it. But it looks like Grant says, let's go for the victory.
Well, he can now that his guys that he's battling for points are out. But here we go. Ross Kenseth really made a move to get up to Daniel Suarez. Oh, and the 59 just lifted his rear tires off the ground. Whoa, whoa, whoa. There's some blood there I don't know about.
David Levine coming up, and we've got Bobby Gerhardt into the wall. The Lucas Oil race car has got a bunch of damage on the rear end, and we're under caution once again inside of 30 laps to go.
I don't think anybody pits here. I think my strategy is completely wrong, and I think nobody will pit this time.
Well, we will certainly see. They made their strategy here when most of those guys came to the pits right at the halfway point, and Gerhardt has put pretty significant damage there on his number 5.
You know, so this right here plays into a couple guys' hands. Yep. The 01 really was patient on that restart, and now he gets to bunch the field back up, get with the guys that he needs to race. And I don't think this helps, though, what we've seen with Will Kimmel. Will Kimmel, I think, wanted green flag racing. He wanted to stay green because that race car came to life with 30 laps into the run.
For sure.
So I really don't think this plays into what he wanted. He wanted long green run. We'll see if it can fire off on this next restart.
Travis Braden had the very fastest lap right before we went to caution. And here's Bobby Gerhardt. There was no contact
yeah, you know
there.
What? That snapped pretty quick. Like he might have had a right rear go down. You know, see how he went in really easy and then it just really pulled hard. No, that tire's up. He just lost it right there.
Rick Clifton was on the inside in car number 10, and there's a late look at it as Gerhard is in the wall, but it didn't appear to me that there was any contact between those two cars.
No, there definitely wasn't any contact from that first look. It looked like he had a tire go down, but the tires are still up, so it just snapped loose on him, and
Bobby Gerhard had one of the hardest hits I've seen in years at the Toledo Speedway. A half mile came down the front straightaway, and his throttle hung. He went into turn number 1, and I'm telling you what, he had really taken a hit, so that's tough to see him backing into the wall. And look at this, here comes to the pit area the number 15 of Suarez. We see Kimmel coming in, and a number of the front runners will come in for some service.
Now Brandon Jones got the free pass last time, so this is his time to get free tires and restart up front. But the 18 and 69, I can't believe it. Jim, what are you hearing down there?
Daniel Suarez is pitting. They're going to make a chassis adjustment. Billy Venturini has made his way to their pit box with Jeff McClure making the call. They're going to do 4 tires. There are 8 tires in the pits to start the race. Why not use them? Suarez has certainly a fast car to get into the top 5 after his most recent pit stop. 4 tires and a round in the West to get that car freed up just a little bit more for Daniel Suarez in the Aris Toyota.
So, guess what? You were sort of right.
I'm 50-50 right now, so I guess I can claim correct on some of the front runners.
I got to tell you, I really like this strategy of coming to get some tires. I know we've got some very fast cars up front, but you got to believe if there's just that little bit extra grip, they're going to have enough time as we have almost 30 to go. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Cindric out front, Ryan Reed running second right now, and our point leader, Grant Enfinger, in a very comfortable position. He has moved all the way up to third here at the Kentucky Speedway. Hey, how about some baseball? October means we're ready to go, and FS1 continues to be your home for postseason action. We've got the American League Division and Championship Series. Don't miss a moment of the drama. It's all history coming your way on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Baseball playoffs, baby. I can feel it. It's coming.
Got my Dodgers in there this year. I'm excited.
It's very, very good. Yeah, there are no Cincinnati Reds on that chart right now. They're very close. They're only 30 games out.
Oh, just a bit outside.
Yeah.
Just a bit outside.
But no, there is some great playoff action coming your way, and getting excited for that. One more week left in the season, and a couple of the wild cards yet to be determined. So
and it might be a playoffs without a Yankees.
Oh boy.
That'd be a big deal if the Yankees don't make it. I mean, you know that.
They are continuing to work on Bobby Gerhardt's car. He was sitting halfway on the racetrack and halfway on the apron, so they're having a bit of a trouble to get him pulled up onto the rollback. So that's why we continue under caution here. To give you a quick update, we saw a number of the front-running cars come to the pit road. Daniel Suarez, Will Kimmel, the 54 of Matt Krzyzewski, and also the number 58 of Brandon Lynn. All 4 of those cars coming down to get some fresh tires. But that is going to put them back in a position where they've got to work their way to get back to the front.
A guy like Brandon Jones, he was put on the last cars in the lead lap because he was the free pass, so he was in the back anyway.
Sure.
That's perfect time for him. Daniel Suarez, they must not have been happy with the performance of it. They had to say, we want an adjustment. We think we can be better. That's why they did it. You know, Will Kimmel, God, Will Kimmel's been so strong on long runs, but there's no long run left, so his guys had to say, hey, we need an adjustment, see what the tires do. And this place is abrasive on tires. We watched lap times. They definitely fell throughout the run. So I think it could be a good move. My strategy's still in play now, Ray.
Yeah, get two
Maybe I'm not
sets.
totally wrong. I'm half and half.
Kimmel started third. He's 12th right now. Got a lot of experience here. And for another update on him, back to Jim Trado.
Just texted with his dad, Bill, the crew chief. I said, what'd you guys do? He said, we put tires on it because we have no grip. No matter what the car does, they're just trying to fight this car sliding across the racetrack. They put on 2-lap scuffs this time. They only had 5-lap scuffs on the short run they had just prior to that. But up in higher pressure, went with 2-lap scuffs, trying to see if that will help Will Kimmel advance through the field. Again, no grip on that 69 machine. As well as he's running, he still wants more bite into the racetrack.
Oh, and that's why you do it. He wasn't happy with the performance, so he said, let's do it. They had a set left. We'll see how it works out for him. 2-lap scuffs should be pretty good. We see, looks like the free pass car is going by right now. And I see a 1-to-go symbol in the air, Mr. Dunlap.
That is Austin Wayne Self, and that number 98 will be our free pass. He heads back around. He'll get lined up, and we will be ready to try to finish this thing off. 3/4 of the way done. And will it work out for the guys who came to get another set of tires? Suarez and Kimmel have been very fast and up front throughout the course of the day. They'll have to work their way back up and try to fight it out with Austin Cindric, Ryan Reed, and Enfinger.
Austin Cindric had built himself a 3-second lead on that last restart. So Clean Air definitely liked that. Ford liked that clean air. We'll see what he does here. And Ryan Reed, that brilliant restart a time before, he's on the bottom this time, not where he was when he went 3 wide on the outside.
Austin Cindric has been racing all over the world. He's been running Raleigh Cross. He's been running in the Formula Fords. He's been all over, and he's getting all of these varying different kinds of experience. But I said to him this weekend, I said, have you made a decision where the future is yet? And he said, no, but we hope to in the off season, because he's got some shots to go open wheel racing, but I have a feeling they're going to consider this stock car deal, and I'd like to see him come back here and chase an ARCA championship.
This young man has life laid out in front of him. He can make a lot of good choices. His father will help him. Mr. Penske will help him, and he's got some great opportunities. Now he has to take advantage of them. Today, he is taking advantage of a great opportunity.
He's out front in that AutoZone Ford right to the inside. That's Ryan Reed. Reed picked up his first career win earlier this season. You can never count out Enfinger. And how about that 22? Kyle Weatherman right there. Here we go. Ready to go back to green, and looks like the 99 gets a nice restart.
Yeah, 59 failed, 36 had a bad restart. Daniel Suarez already going all the way down to the inside. Battle for the front, 2 wide. Look at Ryan Reed, another great restart. But will the outside motor take it? Now Austin Cindric's going to be able to hang on his quarter panel, block him to the wall.
Side by side, heading down the back straightaway. A little bit of a wiggle and maybe some contact between those two.
Side drafting.
Hopefully there was no contact that hit the tires. Into the high side goes the Cindric, and he'll be back in front.
Look at that move, and Ryan Reed got tight right there, lost the nose, opened it up for Grant Enfinger on the bottom.
Enfinger trying to get to the front, hoping to cap off his best career season ever. Last year he won 6 times. He's already has 6 victories this year, and the championship appears to be in the bag, as both the number 6 of Josh Williams and the 77 of Tom Hessert are out of this race. So Enfinger in the clear, but can he get up front and have a shot to win today? We'll find out.
And here comes Ross Kenseth and Weatherman. They're both sneaking in on this battle for second. And look at that. Here's my guy. Second time ever, Travis Braden on the racetrack. Get it done, baby.
Absolutely. Braden giving it a good run. His first time on the big track, and Suarez in the picture now. We see that orange car coming back in. He's the first car with fresh tires back there. He and Will Kimmel have been to the pit area.
2nd through 7th, it's a hell of a battle, but what do we see up front? Austin Cindric, clean air, setting sail. Here's the battle. Travis Braden to the outside. I think he's going to make it right here. He's going to get that motor wound up and go past the 52 of Ross Kenseth. There he is.
Suarez has a very fast car, and he's right on the back. And now he's going to be into the wall as he tries to go to the outside of Ross Kenseth. Some damage on the right rear quarter panel of that Aries Toyota.
He's going to get tight right now. That right front fender is KO'd. It may not be smoking, but that's going to make that race car so tight. These race cars in particular, the old style Cup cars, those fenders are so temperamental. He took that right front fender off. I think Daniel Suarez is done.
He was trying to make it by Ross Kenseth, and here comes Travis Braden going to the high side. He's got it all wound up, heading for Enfinger. Enfinger currently in 3rd. Braden on his way to the front.
You tell me this kid has never been on a 1.5-mile track, right?
That is correct. He is a short track late model driver, and his first win this season was at Lucas Oil Raceway Park in Indianapolis.
And that was his first start. Oh no, the leader, Austin Cindric, what?
Left front tire looks like it might be down, Brendan.
Oh no. Austin Cindric, who had built a 2.5 lead, he's hitting pit road with a problem. Looks like, is the tire down?
I'm not sure, but remember those two had a slight bit of contact on the restart.
Well, and I don't see any white wall Hoosier right there, so no, that left front tire is definitely down. I think he cut the tire, probably to valve stem.
Yep, now it's starting to come apart. So Austin Cindric, who was out front with a great run in his AutoZone Ford, left front tire, and check it out.
Oh, here's where he lost. He goes up into turn 1 right here, Ray. That right front, or that left front, goes down right there. You see the spark? Oh, he lost the whole car because he's on the interliner. Great technology Hoosier and Goodyear have, but Hoosier has an interliner in that tire. That saved that young man a race car.
And what a nice job he did to get it back under control, get to the pit area. They'll change tires, but his shot at a win today is over, Jim Trado.
Just 2 left side tires, no warning for Austin Cindric. This young man was setting sail. Appreciate Chris Carrier making the call. 2 tires. Chris also told me before the race, this car is the one he won with twice of the 9 races in 2009 they ran with Parker Kligerman for Cunningham Motorsports. So a lot of familiarity, certain disappointment, but Carrier very calmly on the radio said, okay, bring it in, 2 tires, boys, and they just made the change and he's back out.
Well, he's back on the racetrack, but not going to have a shot to win with 18 laps to go. Tough break for Austin Cindric as that left front tire has a problem.
So where's the tire carcass?
I think it went down to the infield.
Okay, then tell you what, they got lucky. There's no caution for it. And my man, look at the 0-1. Setting sail for Ryan Reed. Let's watch that ticker, see if he's gaining or if Ryan Reed drives away.
The ARCA Racing Series implemented a brand new engine program this year with the Ilmor 396. And guess what? Travis Braden has the same engine in his car today that he used to go to Victory Lane at Indianapolis Raceway Park.
Well, you know, ARCA Series, you have to learn how to race on a budget, and they're doing a great job. That's a great program. But now Will Kimmel on the apron with a problem. What happened to Will?
Will was right there in the running. Remember, he's one of those drivers who came into pit, and it looks like they are going to have another problem. I'm not sure you could get a notebook full enough of all the excuses that have happened to this team this year in order to take them out of contention, but his day is over for a shot to win as he's headed for the pits.
All 4 tires are up, and I think he's coasting. I'm going to say that he's
out of power?
Out of power. I mean, I don't know. And it looks like we got, who's that back on pit road?
Austin Cindric once again. So here we go. Here's the differential between our front runner of Ryan Reed and Travis Braden. Right now it's starting to shrink a little bit as it's 1.13 seconds. And Braden is on a run trying to get back up there to Reed.
2 laps ago it was 1.6 seconds, so he's knocked off half a second in 2 laps. Looking at the monitor right here, the lap times not much faster, but Braden that last lap a 10th faster.
This race car that Travis Braden is driving today, Jeff Gordon used to win at Martinsville about 4 years ago. Can you believe that?
That's be more than 4.
Well,
this race car had to be like 7 years ago.
That could be. That could be.
That's awesome. These race cars were great race cars. They would live a long time. They didn't take damage as well as our new cars, but man, they were so much fun to race. And there we see a good battle right now with Weatherman and Ross Kenseth. They're still battling for that top 5 spot.
Looks like Weatherman may have a little bit of damage on that left front there. He's hit somebody.
He may have hit the carcass of that tire and sent it into the infield. That's probably what happened to that damage there, because he was right behind that.
Whatever was wrong with Will Kimmel, he also went speeding off of pit road, so he'll be back in once again. And look at this. Oh. Here goes Ross Kenseth to the outside of Weatherman, and those two are side by side. They were very close to the wall, and look at this. Suarez getting right back in there in the hunt. These guys are racing for 5th position.
Suarez, I'm impressed that race car's still driving that hard. He definitely has not been able to make his way through the field, but he's battling for that top 5 spot, which impresses me with how hard he hit that wall.
Hopefully that quarter panel not rubbing on that tire on the right front, but Weatherman now right ahead of Suarez. Ross Kenseth has moved up to 5th position, but how about David Levine? He is right ahead of those guys in 4th position.
You know, Levine doing a nice job. We haven't talked about him much, but he's really hanging in there in that 4th place spot. Ross Kenseth, though, is setting sail trying to catch him.
Couple of fast race cars. Do they have enough time as we're coming close to 10 laps to go? That differential was really close between 2nd and 1st.
Travis is faster every lap by at least a 10th or a half a 10th. I'm watching the scoring monitor. And you know what? You know why I like the kid? He's in the high line, Ray.
Yeah, baby.
That's my guy right there.
If anybody knows about that, it's certainly you, Brendan.
I'll tell you what a great story right now. A college kid, young man, driving hard, goes to West Virginia, wins his first race, got a local sponsor on board. He's cut the lead down to 0.6 seconds now, and another 10th faster than the leader. Here he comes.
I'll bet you Mina Verba standing up, clapping as she's seeing her young driver heading towards the front. The owner of Platinum Express up in Dayton, Ohio, and they are watching this young man put on a show today as he's trying to catch Ryan Reed. Now, Ryan Reed has a lot of experience in this series. Travis Braden running his second start ever.
This is another 10th shaved off it. I'll tell you what, there's a dorm room somewhere at West Virginia that's jumping right now for this kid. I can't believe he's doing such a great job in only his first ever mile and a half and his 2nd race in the ARCA Series ever.
After he got that big win, the president of the university called him in, gave him an award, said, "We're all behind you." And he said there was an incredible number of people in the auditorium cheering him on. And they think this young man has really got a big future in racing. And we see him doing a great job today as he's trying to catch Ryan Reed in the final laps here of the Crosley 150.
And I'm watching the times, another half a 10th quicker. He's still faster every lap. And Daniel Suarez still working on Weatherman, still making it work.
Bunch of good battles, both of these cars with slight damage. This is 6th and 7th as Weatherman and Suarez are back there.
Oh, he thought of it. Daniel thought about it, but I think he thought better. He didn't quite have enough room there. Now he's trying to make it work, and Lapper kind of gets in the way of him diving to the bottom.
Enfinger is almost 2 seconds back now as we look at that group that was up front, so he's not closing at all. But the differential now, look at this, 0.36 between Braden and Ryan Reed, and he is right there, Brendan.
Man, he is running that outside line, making that motor just keeping, like you said, a great ARCA series rule, and that motor is running on the outside.
Brendan Gaughan, the winner here at Kentucky Speedway a year ago in the Xfinity Series, calling the race with me today. And here we go. We are going to have a battle. Ryan Reed giving it all he's got, but right in the tire tracks, here comes Travis Braden.
Ryan Reed, whose father, Mark Reed, an old Winston West veteran I raced against. Great job, great story. A type 1 diabetic in the race car, learning how to do it. But he's being caught by an even better story who just took his race car to the bottom of the racetrack to get some grip. He has definitely learned you do not want to follow the tire tracks.
Wheeling, West Virginia, the home for Travis Braden in just his second start in the ARCA Racing Series. And there's Tony Furr calling the shots today. When Travis won his first race earlier this year, it was a pit strategy call that was made by his crew chief at Indianapolis, and today it has just been a really fast race car that's put him in contention.
No pit strategy here. He's just flat out driving the wheels off this thing. We got 6 laps to go. He is there. Now, getting to him, Ray, is one thing.
Right.
Getting past him is another. Let's see how well this young man has learned, what he's taken in during this race in the traffic, and see if he can get by a veteran with Ryan Reed.
You suppose Tony Furr is on the radio at all talking to him, or is he just watching and saying, I'm going to let the kid give it his all?
At this point, the crew chief really can't say much except just go get him. You know, he's pumped up. I promise you his heart rate is up. We got a split screen here. We go. There's 15, Daniel Suarez getting underneath Weatherman as the lead kind of stretches back out.
There's a couple of cars on the right of your screen that we thought would be contenders today, each of them with damage. Suarez got into the wall trying to go around Ross Kenseth, and we're not exactly sure where Weatherman's damage came from, but obviously affecting the aerodynamics there. And now the differential has changed just a little bit as they go down the back straightaway.
Just what I told you, Ray. Getting to him is one thing, getting by him is another. He got behind him, he got aero tight, he put his nose probably right in the tire tracks, lost some ground. Now he's back. He's going to make that charge back to him again and see if he can't make anything happen. You see the interval there. Got really close, then he lost the nose. Now he's faster again that lap. He's going to start working his way back to him, but he's running out of time. There's only 4 to go.
When Ryan Reed won at Chicago, he had engine number 41 in his car. Guess where that engine is today? It's in David Levine's car, who's running third.
That's a great engine rule. You got to like that. Any way to keep costs down for these teams that are always fighting for money is a great rule. And this is a young man that proves it. That's an engine program that proves it. And a great battle right here for, oh, here we go. Grant Enfinger battling with Ross Kenseth, making a move to get to that 4th spot.
Good battle here, side by side. Kenseth now to the bottom. Looks like he's going to go by Enfinger.
If I'm Enfinger right now,
say goodbye.
5th, I'm still top 5. All right, Ross, I don't need any headaches. I'm going to come out of here with the big points.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Got to keep in mind that Ryan Reed came to the pit area and got tires on a little different cycle than the 0-1, so we're not quite sure if that make up the difference today, but we've got 2 laps to go here in the Crosley 150.
Ryan Reed stopped when the rain came out the first time you were supposed to pit. The time that I said was the right move to make.
Sure.
Ryan Reed is up there and taking advantage. One good restart to go 3 wide to get him in position. And then Austin Self. Now we do have some lap traffic here, Ray, which it's really congested up in front of the leaders. Look at that, but 2 to go. It's going to be close. I don't know. Now they're getting out of the way.
Ryan Reed has Lilly Diabetes and Momo on the hood of that race car, driving for Lyra Motorsports. And as he comes down through the tri-oval, he gets the white flag here at the Kentucky Speedway. Can Travis Braden make a run at him? Will lap traffic have anything to say about it as they go? Here's one of his teammates right ahead of him.
Man, that could have been worse. He lost some gap there. I don't know if it's going to be enough for Braden to make up, but he definitely lost some time right there. Oh, look at Braden, just hauls it off 3 wide just to make the run.
Here comes Braden going to the high side. He'll come up with some momentum as they come out of turn number 4. Down the front straightaway, and for the second time this season, Ryan Reed will take the checkers in the ARCA Racing Series.
What a great job by Braden, but Ryan Reed going to keep him pumped up for tonight's Xfinity race. That's going to be a great motivator for him to come into tonight.
Fantastic job today by David Levine, too. He's trying to keep the points up to win the Rookie of the Year, sponsored by Scott's here in the ARCA Racing Series, and he will pick up a couple of spots over Kyle Weatherman, but it may not be enough after we get past that final race this year at Kansas.
What a great job by Ryan Reed. Way to hold off. Austin Cindric had the race in hand, had a left front tire go down and get cut, and it just left the door wide open for Ryan Reed. Lilly diabetes on that thing. Once again, a great story. Young man with type 1 diabetes showing don't let something, my nephew has that. Don't let that stop your life.
These guys had a major vibration earlier in the week, but Teddy Brown went to work on it, and I believe the crew chief standing by with Jim.
Teddy, this has to be extremely satisfying. Know how much you worked on this race car to get it just right here at the end.
I tell you, Tuesday we worked nothing but race runs. Everybody's like, well, you didn't qualify very well. I said, well, I had my man Ryan Reed behind the wheel. Can't thank Carlos Lear enough. We had a 1-3-8 finish. We're looking good for the future. Thank you.
What did you guys change on lap 43 that made the difference?
Just kept him calm the first 43 and said, worry about fuel mileage. We'll get him at the end.
He's doing the burnouts. Teddy Brown celebrating for the second time with Ryan Reed, a victory here for Lyra Motorsports in the ARCA Racing Series, presented by Menards.
Teddy Brown just got married a couple of weeks ago, and now he's really feeling good as that team has posted a very good run today here at the Kentucky Speedway. He told me they will definitely take this same car off to Kansas, so that could be tough for the competition.
I would say that's the right move to do, but Austin Cindric had the field covered.
Yes.
That race car, if he goes to Kansas with that race car, you're going to have to do something to catch him. But great job by Ryan Reed. Salutes the crowd. Nicely done, young man.
Throughout the course of this season, we had 10 drivers pick up their very first win. That is an amazing statistic. One of those right there, that 0-1 to Travis Braden. And boy, I'll tell you what, we had a great race today here at Kentucky. And we see the 99 of Austin Cindric. He's up against the wall. I think they've got a little bit of damage there, so we're not exactly sure what happened. That is after the checkered flag happened, but we'll give you an update on that. Ryan Reed, your winner today. Travis Braden gave him a really, really good run. When we come back to the Kentucky Speedway, we'll hear from the driver who took that number 38 car to victory lane. Welcome back to the Kentucky Speedway. Ray Dunlap along with Brendan Gaughan and Jim Trado. We are going to celebrate with Ryan Reed as he has picked up his second win of the season. That number 38 Lilly Diabetes race car was lightning fast today. And now let's go down to victory lane with Jim Trado.
And for the second time in 2 starts in 2015, it's Ryan Reed climbing out a victory here in the ARCA Racing Series. He competed in 14 races in the ARCA Racing Series a couple years ago before turning his attention full-time to the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And Ryan, it's got to feel good for you knowing all the work that you went in. Tuesday, you weren't happy. Today, it's got to be a really satisfying win.
Man, lap 60, I wasn't happy. Teddy did a great job. He stayed with me. I was pretty frustrated inside the car, and Teddy did a good job keeping me focused. And, you know, just got to thank Carlos and Lilly Diabetes, American Diabetes Association, Roush Fenway for letting me do this. Big thanks to Jack for helping me put this deal together. It's a lot of fun to come run these ARCA races, and, you know, winning's always fun. 2 for 2 with Lyra Motorsports. It's a great day. So, double duty today, so I'll get to go qualify my ARCA car, or my Xfinity Series car here in a few minutes and have some more fun. So hopefully we can make it 2 for 2 today.
2 jukeboxes in one day. Have you ever done that before? 2 wins in a day in your long career?
I don't have 1 jukebox, so one's a good start. You can't get 2 without first getting 1, so we'll focus on getting the second one now. We'll celebrate here for a few minutes, and a lot of these picker guys are on my Xfinity Series car too, so it'd be a heck of a day to go get 2 for 2 with these guys.
A big win for Ryan Reed here in the ARCA Racing Series at Kentucky, winning his second race and his second start here in 2015.
Well, thank you, Jim. Let's take a look at our Crosley Brands unofficial results. Ryan Reed obviously at the top. Great run for Travis Braden trying to chase him down there in that Chevrolet. David Levine with a great run, and that'll put him in good position in the Scott Rookie Challenge. Ross Kenseth, Enfinger, and then we see Bo Lamastus with another top 10. He finished 9th at Salem and backs it up with a 10th tonight. Today, that was a very good run in his Dodge. And we look back through the field, we see there ended up being 12 cars on the lead lap. A number of guys with trouble, and Austin Cindric, who had a lightning-fast AutoZone Ford, he'll finish 17th today.
No, you know, great job. You watched the back of this. Will Kimmel had some of those problems, you know, out of the race at the end. Bobby Gerhart with that crash we saw, and then, of course, you're working your way down through the field. Wayne Peterson, Eric Caudell, some just bad days for those guys. And then, of course, the crash right at the beginning with your K&N East Series points leader, William Bryan, Sarah Cornett, and Tom Hesser.
Even more important than that, we saw Josh Williams and Hesser both with bad finishes today. That pretty much wraps it up for Grant Enfinger. All he'll have to do is start at Kansas to win the championship. We had a great day today here at Kentucky. We'll be back to wrap it up in just a few minutes. The winner of the big Crosley Jukebox is Ryan Reed here at Kentucky Motor Speedway. Rain last night here at the Kentucky Speedway had us postpone the Crosley Brands 150. We had a very brief shower right at halfway today, but we were able to get you all 100 laps here on FS2. Glad you joined us for ARCA Racing. Brendan Gaughan was able to come up into the booth and have a little insight today. That was good. And Jim Trado is in the pit area. He is standing by with a driver whose average finish now is 1.5.
Just a bit short for Travis Braden, this West Virginia University Chevrolet. Same car you drove to victory at Lucas Oil Raceway. What was the difference today? You had a great run your first mile and a half.
Well, I don't think there was a whole lot of difference. I think we had, a car that could have won. We almost did it. We just didn't quite have what we needed when we got close to him there in the air coming off of turn 4. But I can't say enough, that first caution there, I wasn't sure. We got kind of, with the delay, we got way back in the pack. And on the restart, we got stuck there too. So I was kind of, worried that we weren't going to ever have a chance to get back to the front. But the way the cautions fell kind of helped us there at the end, and we got the track position back. And, we had the car to beat them. We chased them down. But as that fuel was burning off, we just kept getting tighter and tighter. And as I got to him, I was starting to get a little snug. And if I could have just got that run off of 4 right there and not had to lift, I had to lift a little bit, I think we would have had him. But, all in all, it's a great day. I don't think anybody would have expected us to come in here and show almost dominance all weekend. I think the 55 was the best car, but I think we were showing all weekend we were the second best car. And, you just can't expect much more than that.
Congratulations on another great run here. Travis Braden coming home second in the 01 machine today.
Well, thank you, Jim. That was certainly fun to watch. He's got West Virginia University on the hood, and we'll have Maryland and West Virginia coming your way in football here in just a little while. But as we look back at our unofficial standings, the championship is over. Grant Enfinger, all he has to do is show up and start at Kansas Speedway, and they'll be able to hand him that trophy. The 9th consecutive different champion in the ARCA Racing Series.
That's impressive after all those years of Frank Kimmel dominance. It's nice to see so many different winners and champions the last bunch of years. And that wreck on lap 1 hurt Tom Hesser, cost him a spot in points, and it's going to be tough to make up that 55-point difference in one race.
Hesser will have to try to do it at Kansas, our final event of the season. It's been a great year. 20 events make up the schedule, and our last race of the year will be at Kansas Speedway. Hope you'll join us for that. That race has been moved to FS1, so we're looking forward to it. Early crash today took Sarah Cornett, Ching, and Tom Hessert out. That was lap number 1. And then we saw a little bit of rain at the halftime. But it has been an interesting day for sure. But once again, it is Ryan Reed in victory lane. Congratulations to Lyra Motorsports. For Jim Trado and Brendan Gaughan, I'm Ray Dunlap. We're going to be